an ambush.
How many did you save?
Just like a dream.
You did the only thing you could do. And you lost.
Like a dream.
Look, we're still in this thing.
The day you walked away.
But we have no idea what we're dealing with.
Unfortunately.
Things are getting worse around here, aren't they?
Boyd, we're out of food.
Too many things are changing. Yeah. I have to remember.
Remember what?
What's missing?
Nothing that I've been through is possible.
I think you're here for what's in the basement.
This place will not break us. We can still win. But the only way we go home is together.
Hello. Come on, go. The game here is rigged. Why can't they leave us alone?
No matter what this place throws at us, we're gonna find our way home.
Everybody just talks about how afraid they are of dying. Well, I don't think that's the worst thing that can happen to you here. Hello?
Like a dream.
You looking for these?
Into my life.
You can't save them all.
But things are really how they seem.
There we have it. There we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one, welcome all. We are getting closer and closer now to From Season 3, September 22nd, just right around the corner. And I cannot wait. As my good pal Ando has been counting down the days, we are 33 days away now. 33 days away. Cannot get here soon enough. I know it's only 33 days, but man, it feels like it's 2 months. I mean, House of the Dragon whipped by incredibly fast, and now the show that I desperately really want to get here seems like it's taking forever. But 33 days, we are going to whip through these 33 days right here on the channel and talk all things from leading up to Season 3. So we are well, good, and primed. And of course, we are starting our Season 2 rewatch parties this Sunday night in the Discord. So if anyone wants to come and hang out with us and rewatch Season 2, we're going to be doing 2 episodes a week. We'll start with episodes 1 and 2, of course, this Sunday. And we'll have a little discussion afterwards as well in the voice chat in the Discord. So anyone who wants to come and hang out with us will be more than welcome to join the watch party. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I've been rewatching Season 1 on my own time, and it's been so long since I've rewatched From. Like, this is a show I've probably watched just as much, if not more, than any other show. But with covering Shogun on the channel and then going right into House of the Dragon afterwards, it's been a little while since I've watched Season 1 and 2 of From again. It's been a little while since I've had a rewatch. So I am loving diving back into the world of Fromville. And I could not be more pleased that we are getting closer and closer to Season 3. 33 days away now, y'all. 33 days. But again, welcome one, welcome all. So glad to have you guys here this evening. Of course, I will be dropping the link into the chat here in a few. Anybody who wants to come on and hang out and talk some Season 3 predictions. And more importantly, I want to hear from you guys. What character storyline are you looking forward to the most in Season 3? Which character do you want to see unfold? And where do you hope their story is going to take them? That is what I want to know. And of course, we are going to be talking about everything and all things else pertaining to From. Whatever you guys want to talk about, that is what we are talking about tonight. Anything you guys want. But first, we got to say what is up to the awesome chat. We got Vic in the house. What is up, Vic? Good to see you, my friend. First and foremost this evening. We got the Grumbledore. What is up, Grumbledore? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Got Ando in the house. Got the talismans ready. Hell yes. Get those talismans ready, guys. We're going to need them. We are going to need them. We got Doc Hayes. What is up, Doc? Always good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome indeed. We got Scarlet Fever in the house. What is up, Scarlet Fever? Always good to see you. From season 3, so close. Let's go. Yes, let's fucking go. I can't wait. I really can't wait. It's definitely my personal favorite show that is currently on TV right now, and probably my favorite show I've seen maybe since Game of Thrones, since the early days of Game of Thrones anyway. So yeah, I'm pumped. I could not be more pumped that From is getting closer and closer. We got Soph in the house. What is up, Soph? Always good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got El Plaga in the house. What is up, El Plaga? Good to see you as well. We got Greek Girl in the house. What is up, Greek? Always good to see you, my friend. Greek's got the talisman out as well. Love to see it. Love to see it. Got Xavier in the house. What is up, Xavier? Good to see you as well, my friend. Got Dana Marie. What is up, Dana? Good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you are doing well this evening. Hope everybody is doing well this evening as we get closer and closer to that famed season 3 date. September 22nd, just a week before my birthday, actually. So, yeah, I know. I got the a really awesome birthday present this year and From season 3 returning. 1 week before my birthday. I'll actually be celebrating my birthday during episode 2 of season 3 this year, actually, the exact day. So I cannot wait. This is a good omen of things to come for season 3, I think. A good omen. We got Dr. Deb in the house. What is up, Dr. Deb? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. We got Kitten in the building. The kitten has landed. What is up, Flying Kitten? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Stuffy D in the house. What is up, Stuffy? Good to see you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Julie Barbara in the house. What is up, Julie? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Had a lot of fun the other night. We have been recently starting our Discord kind of live voice chats up again, something that we did a lot during season 2 of From. We did our first one last Sunday, and it was a blast. I want to thank everybody who came out and joined us for the live voice chat in the Discord last Sunday. It was an absolute blast. And I'm looking forward to the next one. I am looking forward to this Sunday's Discord watch party. Again, for anyone who maybe wasn't here at the beginning, we are going to be rewatching season 2 of From in the Discord starting this Sunday, a rewatch party for season 2. We're going to start with episodes 1 and 2 this Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's been a little while since I've rewatched From. I need to refresh. I need a catch up. I need a catch up. We got Rod in the house. What is up, Rod? Good to see you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome indeed. We got Robert in the house as well. What is up, Robert? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Robert also joined us on the voice chat. It was a blast hanging out with Robert. It's always a blast hanging out with Robert. Robert's got some of the greatest ideas pertaining to From that I've heard. Some really, really interesting and intricate stuff. Very smart fellow is Rob. Very smart fellow. Welcome one, welcome all. We got Justin White in the house as well. What is up, Justin? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Gregory Reese in the house. What is up, Gregory Reese? I suspect fans of the book will be disappointed in House of the Dragon in the end. Honestly, it looks like, I mean, they are straying further and further from the book, which I don't mind that in particular, as long as it's still a good story. If it's still a good story and they stray a little from the book, I am totally fine with that. It's when they stray from the book and it's not a good story. That's when it becomes a problem. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess we have to wait and see. Got Taryn in the house. What is up, Taryn? Good to see you. Staying up late for the From theories. And I saw in the Discord earlier that Taryn did his first live stream, his first From live stream today. So if you guys have not subscribed to Taryn's channel, definitely get over there and give him a sub. And let's see if we can get that those channel numbers up, and join him on some of his future live streams. Awesome stuff, Darren. I love to see new people starting up from streams. That is always so awesome to see. The more people talking about the show, the better, in my opinion. Scream this thing from the rooftops, everybody. Let's let everybody know season 3 is coming. Got Colin in the house. What is up, Colin? Jade about to solve the puzzle in season 3. Yes, Colin. Yes. I really am looking forward to it. Again, Jade is my personal favorite character. I absolutely love Jade. He's been, in terms of characters that have grown the most and have gone through the most character development from the time they arrived to right now, it's hard to say anyone has grown more than Jade, just considering the kind of shallow level, kind of rich, douchebaggy asshole he kind of was when he first arrived in that first few episodes to where he is now. He really has come a long way as a character, and he's probably evolved just as much, if not more, than anybody else. So I'm really looking forward to Jade in season 3. And what is going to be coming next with the symbol? What is going to be coming next with the symbol? We got Kim Merriweather in the house. What is up, Kim? Always good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Got Purple Alizé in the building. What is up, Purple Alizé? Good to see you. We got Chief in the house. What is up, Chief? Good to see you. How do you get a talisman? That's hilarious. Well, thank you. The talismans are actually available to all channel members. Anyone who becomes a member of the channel, or if you happen to get gifted a membership, we have a lot of people that usually kind of throw out membership gifts here on the channel. You might be lucky enough to snatch one. They're randomized. They're completely random as to who they go to. But yeah, anyone who becomes a member of the channel has access to all of the custom emojis. We got talismans in there. We got smiley in there. We got all kind of from emojis in there, and a bunch of new ones are going to be coming before season 3 starts. So yeah, if you guys have any specific from emojis you want added to the live chat after this stream is over, comment in the comment section, not the live chat here, but after the stream is over, comment in the regular comment section what new emojis you want me to add, and whatever ones have the most suggestions or the coolest suggestions, I will pick a few out and we'll make some new from emojis. But yeah, the from emojis are available to all channel members. And a big thank you to all of my channel members who have become members and have stayed members for quite a while, some of you. It's incredibly impressive, the support you guys have shown. And I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. Cannot thank each and every one of you enough. And speaking of members, we got Dana Marie is already gifting memberships as we speak. Gifted membership from Dana Marie. Thank you so much, Dana Marie, for the gifted membership. I very much appreciate you, my friend. And there we go. Look at it. Colin, you got a membership. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you. We got another gifted membership. That is 2. We got Soph is now a member as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Taryn is now a member as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have each and every one of you here. And thank you so much, Dana Marie, for the gifted memberships. Now, for anyone who's maybe new here, anytime someone sends in a super chat or a gifted membership, I try to send something back in return, and that is usually the form of some glitter or a whoa, as we call it. And the whoa is pretty loud, so cover your ears, ladies and gentlemen. A whoa is coming to Dana. Whoa! And some glitter for good measure. I know Dana really likes the glitter, so some glitter for good measure. Thank you so much, Dana Marie, for the gifted memberships, my friend. Very much appreciate you. Very much appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got Jalen in the house as well. What is up, Jalen? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Sharif in the house. What is up, Sharif? Vala Mogolis, everyone. Well, a Vala Dohidus right back to you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Love seeing some High Valerian in the chat. I never get tired of reading High Valerian. That is for sure. That is for sure. We got Carrie in the house sending love. What is up, Carrie? Well, we are sending love right back to you and everybody else in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you guys here this evening. Awesome, awesome. Got Mandy in the house. What is up, Mandy? Good to see you as well. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. All right, we are going to dive into it. What is up, Michael? Good to see you as well, my friend. If I missed anybody, I am terribly sorry. Oh, I see Just Janus in the house. What is up, Just? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, indeed. All right, so we are just going to kick this party right off. I am going to throw the link in the chat. And, of course, anybody who wants to pop on and hang out with us for a little bit and talk some From Season 3 predictions. And, of course, I want to hear from you guys both on the panel and in the chat. What characters' storyline are you looking forward to most in Season 3? Is there one particular storyline or one particular character that you are looking forward to seeing the most in Season 3 and getting answers for that character? Welcome one, welcome all. So there is the link. Of course, that's if anybody wants to pop on. It is nobody has to pop on if you don't want to. That is totally cool. But I would love to hear from you guys in the chat. Who is your favorite character and which storyline are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to? Greek Girl, just like me, looking forward to Jade's storyline. Hell yes, my friend. Me too. Yeah, Jade's my favorite character. He's been my favorite character since pretty early on. Him and Boyd. Boyd's a very close second. I love Harold Perrineau. He's just, I mean, he is the star of the show. Clearly, he's the backbone of the show, the veteran on set. And a lot of the show really centers around Harold Perrineau's character and the Matthews family as well. But Jade, he's just one of those very interesting characters. I immediately it clicked with Jade. Loved the kind of quick and witty dialogue that he was throwing around in Season 1. You guys have heard me play this clip probably a million times up until this point.
All right, ding dongs, it's almost go time. Anybody fucks this up, you spend a night in the box.
Anybody fucks this up, you're spending a night in the box. And speaking of spending nights in the box, we got our first guest, and it is the awesome Scarlet Fever. Welcome, Scarlet. I was hoping you were going to pop on. We haven't talked from in ages, so I am so glad to have you on here tonight. How are you doing?
Good, man. I know it's been forever. We've had evil on the brain, but we're wrapping that up, so we're ready to focus and really look at what's going to happen this season. I can't wait for Jade.
Scarlett's getting, Scarlett, I'm so impressed with Scarlett and Dana. They went out there, they've started their own YouTube channels. They're building them up. They're covering other shows. So you know exactly what I'm talking about when, it was the same thing for me. House of the Dragon came around and I kind of got so focused on that I kind of fell behind on my From stuff for a little bit. And it's hard. It's so hard to juggle multiple shows at once. But now that House of the Dragon is ending, now that you guys are finishing up with Evil, it's it's time to dive head first back into From. But you know what I'm talking about when it comes to covering multiple shows. It's tough, man. There's only so many hours in the day. I want to talk about all these shows every day if I could. But sometimes you got to go from one to the other.
Yeah,
and speaking of
definitely gets your brain going.
It does. It really does. Welcome, Dana. Good to have you, my friend. Welcome, welcome.
What's up? I think I haven't talked to you forever.
I know, right? Yeah, it feels like it's been forever. You guys have been doing. I got to say, it's been awesome to see you guys have been doing your own thing. I'm so. There's nothing that makes me happier when I see people just starting their own channel, starting their own streams, talking about things they're passionate about. It's. I'm super proud. I mean, it's awesome to see you guys do that. We got another guest.
We thank you every day.
Oh no,
we thank you every day.
I did nothing. It's all you guys. All you guys.
We brag about you all the time.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. You know I don't like compliments. You know I don't like compliments. And welcome, Taryn. Good to have you as well, my friend. You guys, I'm sure most of you guys, or probably all of you guys, know Taryn by now. He's got probably one of the most, if not the most popular fan theories out there in the From fandom. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Jeremy. And if I may say, your channel is one of the most, at least your Discord, for sure, is one of the most open and friendly Discords that there is. Wow. And I actually use it. I used to use this other Discord. Your Discord is so much more open and friendly. It's very nice.
Oh, wow. That really does mean a lot. I know that's something that, Raven and I have tried really hard to kind of cultivate that welcoming feeling. We want everybody to feel welcome here. everybody is welcome, no matter what your opinions are, no matter what you feel about the show. We just want to have a place where people can genuinely feel free to talk about whatever they want. So that really does mean a lot to me, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
May I
that.
pitch a conversation topic?
Absolutely. Pitch away.
Because I would love to hear what Scarlet Fever and Dana Marie have to say about this. I just wanted to know what people thought about the bracelet on Miranda's wrist in 1978 that looks identical to Jim's bracelet. You know, and they make a big deal of this bracelet on the show. They discuss it, they talk about the mark, and then they show it on Miranda's wrist in 1978 flashback. So I just wanted to know what you guys were thinking about that. Like, what do you think it means? Do you think it suggests that Tabitha knows Eloise somehow? Because, you know, Eloise may be the one who ends up with the bracelet, you know, if she takes it off her mom's body, if she, like, pulls it off her wrist when she's falling through the tree. You know, how does this bracelet end up being made by Tabitha? You know, is she copying the bracelet from somewhere? Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there and ask your opinions, guys.
Yeah, the bracelet's really curious because
it's freaky.
The way they offer it up, especially with Victor, makes it hard to place, like, anchor it fully. Like, you could say there's time travel involved because of the way they suggested it through Victor's memories. Or it could be that she does have, like, there's going to be a bloodline tie with Tabitha to Victor's family. They left the fact the way they showed it with Victor leaves it open-ended for any of those possibilities. But what's actually going to happen, I don't know, because until we can trust Victor's memories, I can't even say if what he saw is truly what he saw, right? And I don't even just mean like he may have saw the bracelet on Tabitha. I mean, like, how much of his memories are jacked up from this place fully? Like, he's just making things up as he's going. And it's possible that like, I don't know, there's just the way this place displays things. It makes it really hard for me to say exactly where that's going to go because I can't truly anchor it anywhere.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
It is one of the bigger mysteries on the show. It's incredibly puzzling. There's been some great fan theories around it, but it is incredibly puzzling. What about you, Dana? You have any special thoughts on the bracelet, how it might have ended up where it ended up?
To me, the only real way to explain it is some form of, I don't want to call it time travel, but time displacement, because we've seen it with Boyd going through his faraway tree and ending up in the dungeon, or however you want to classify the place where he met Martin, because when we see it in current time and From, it's ruins, but when he goes and meets Martin for the first time, it's fully intact. So there is some hint of time travel, and I use the word travel loosely in a sense, but the only way I could explain it is, okay, Tabitha made it for Jim. Jim loses it. So we have some gap of what happens in the time from when Jim loses it to where it ends up in From. I don't know how to explain it other than maybe somebody comes across it where he loses it and is another person in From we have yet to see, and that's how it ended up in From. Or somehow Jim is the actual person who gets displaced in time in a sense and runs into Victor's mom, and he gives it to Victor's mom. Like, if anybody to prove that we've met or done something, she takes it so that it ends up in From. But like Scarlett said, to really anchor it in From, there's not enough information yet. There's only speculation. So until we get a little more information, there's definitely something wonky with the time, because there's just it things don't make sense unless we throw up the word time travel.
Yeah. It's incredibly trippy, that bracelet, and I had a feeling that was going to be one of the bigger mysteries going onto the show. I get the feeling we'll get the answer at some point. It seems like it's too deliberate of a thing to kind of just be in the background. I have a feeling that's probably going to play some part of the plot. There was a really interesting theory that some of you guys were bringing up last time this subject came up, and I absolutely thought it was pretty ingenious, and I kind of am even getting behind it myself. We've seen in season 2 that things can kind of be pulled out of dreams and physically manifest in the real world.
Yes.
We saw it in the case of Elgin, when he was getting drowned by that weird creature. He wakes up and literally spits out water out of his mouth. We saw it in the case of Kenny when he gets burned by the cicada in his dream, wakes up with the burn still on his arm. I love the idea that some of you guys were proposing that maybe the bracelet got manifested in a different time in a very similar manner, that it was maybe pulled out of a memory or out of a dream in some capacity and physically manifested itself inside Fromville. I just thought that was a very unique take on the theory. It was one I hadn't really heard before until you guys brought it up.
Whoever
But I like
did that one, that's good. Yeah,
That
I
is
like
very
that better
interesting.
because it gets away from the time travel, which if they
Yes.
don't do it
That's why
right,
I
can make it
love it.
so messy.
Yes. Because
That's
that's
why I
what I
love it.
think Fatima's pregnancy is. I think she pulled that from her dream. I think
Ooh,
she got pregnant in her dream and it manifested itself outside the dream,
okay.
and that's how she's pregnant. Just because she's so adamant about how she cannot get pregnant,
Yeah.
that the only thing I could possibly think of besides, okay, this place healed her in some factor,
Hmm.
but that she got pregnant within her dream and it manifested outside of her dream.
Okay. No, again, it could definitely be a possibility. We have seen this crazy, weird phenomenon where dreams can clearly affect Fromville in the real world. So no, it very well could be. And yeah, she did seem pretty adamant that she could not get pregnant. Like she was dead convinced, like 100% she could not get pregnant, and all of a sudden she is. And you mentioned the healing factor as well. And although the show hasn't kind of outright and confirmed anything yet, but we have seen these kind of instances where characters seem to be healing pretty quick, like quicker than they would in the real world, at least. Ethan getting impaled through the leg, he heals rather fast. Ellis in particular gets stabbed with like a 7-inch freaking blade, and he's up on his feet painting the next day.
But
It's
not
not
Jim.
confirmation, of course. Not
But
Jim.
not Jim. I think
Not
it's
Jim.
because Donna's is the one who's doing the healing, and she doesn't
Okay.
want Jim
She's
mobile
choosing,
because
maybe.
he's investigating.
And that was kind of my thought as well. Not the Donna thing, but I thought maybe, because we have seen in this show, in this world, it seems like when people try to push too hard to try and escape, something quote unquote pushes back. We hear that whole theory from Sarah's brother in season 1, which seems to almost be confirmed by the boy in white at the end of season 1 when he says this place is angry. So part of me thought that maybe it was that. Maybe since Jim is one of those characters that is actively trying to escape, he's not receiving the healing benefits that this place offers. Like he's being debuffed.
Yeah.
It's
Well, Jim
certainly the
also
reason.
rejects from a lot. He rejects a lot of things that have to do with this place because he's so adamant on leaving that he sometimes rejects a lot of the supernatural elements that come with this place. And it could also be a punishment of sorts as well.
Mm,
Mm.
indeed.
May I
Indeed.
ask, have you guys heard of a bootstrap paradox before?
I have heard of the Bootstrap paradox before. I'm not crazy familiar on it, but I have heard a little bit on it. I'm sure you probably
Same.
know much more.
Well, just to give you a very brief overview, I think that Jim's bootlaces, the fact that the bracelet was made from Jim's dad's bootlaces, is a
Yep.
clear nod from the showrunners that this bracelet forms part of a bootstrap paradox. And
Ooh, okay. Like they're hinting to us. Okay.
yes, and in order for there to be a bootstrap paradox, basically Tabitha needs to have copied the bracelet from someone else or somewhere else. She needs
Ah.
to, so it's basically like what if you are just sitting in your room and then you appear as basically a time travel machine appears and you pop out and you're like, here's the designs for a time machine, and then and then future you jumps back in the time machine and disappears. You use the designs to build your time machine, and then you travel back in time to tell yourself. But you would never have built the time machine in the first place if you hadn't come back and given yourself the designs. So it's kind of like that, where Tabitha needs to have copied the bracelet from somewhere, copied her own bracelet. Basically, the bracelet needs to time travel in such a way that needs to time travel back in time and actually cause her to make the bracelet the way she did, creating a paradox, which is why when Jade enters the bar, he says, "This is a paradox." So they're clearly hinting at a time travel paradox here. And actually, I think that in order for a Bootstrap paradox to exist with the bracelet, the only conclusion I can draw is that Eloise is Tabitha's mom. And she copied her mother's bracelet. And that's why it's a Bootstrap paradox. So Eloise is her mom. She ends up with the bracelet from Miranda. She gives birth to Tabitha with a teenage pregnancy. And then when Tabitha is making the bracelet from Jinstad's bootlaces, she copies the design from her mom's wrist.
Copies it
And then the
exactly.
bracelet
So
time travels back to 1978, etc.
Interesting. Interesting.
I'll leave it. I'll leave it there.
No, I like it. I like it. I mean, I love intricate theories like that kind of tie a few different story points together. And this bracelet has been puzzling so many of us, but this could potentially, like you said, it could potentially explain why we're seeing it in these two different time periods.
Did you see the long-haired man next to Victor and Eloise and possibly Miranda in Eloise's drawings? That might be Jim time traveling back to 1978.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, because Jim is, his hair would definitely be long enough to be construed as someone with long hair in a children's drawing easily. And I like it. I like that. Bootstrap paradox theory.
But if Eloise is Tabitha's mom, does Tabitha know Eloise is her mom, or
no, she will discover it?
Oh, so you're saying she won't know? So she was like adopted or something?
So I think that
from
Eloise
like how
ran
does
away
she, because
from home. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just asking because did she not talk to her daughter about like an experience she had, and from are we saying like she's forgotten her? Like, if Eloise is Tabitha's mom, wouldn't that be a story Tabitha would know about her mom, that she was in some place like from? Like how I'm saying that, like I'm just trying to understand.
It would either be repressed memories like Victor,
okay,
or it would be a big secret that Eloise has been keeping. I think she changed her name.
Gotcha.
I think
Just
she started
asking.
a whole new life. That's how I see it. And I think she's either going to recognize the lunchbox, or Henry, Eloise's dad, will recognize her when Tabitha introduces him to her mom, potentially. But I think I think more likely it'll be the lunchbox.
It's got to play some kind of part, and like you said, it would be the perfect kind of identifying mark to, they see Tabitha walking around with this lunchbox that looks identical to young Victor's. That's going to raise an eyebrow, and again, it could be the perfect catalyst that brings some of these characters together, because I think a lot of us have been anticipating, or at least hoping in some way, shape, or form, that Tabitha's storyline is going to lead her to Eloise in some way, shape, or form in season 3. At least that's what I'm hoping. That was kind of some of my original thoughts. And you know how writers operate. There's a reason why Tabitha was given that lunchbox when she goes out of that lighthouse. That was not accidental. And when we see this picture that looks to be Tabitha in season 3, it looks like she does still have the lunchbox with her. That's the same rope that the lunchbox was attached to. This looks like she is back out there in the real world. We see some dude out there in the background. So it looks like she does indeed still have the lunchbox. And again, I'm not surprised at all, because these writers are clever. They're setting things up for seasons in advance. So I have to have a feeling that this lunchbox is going to play a very specific point in season 3. If not in season 3, definitely in season 4. It's just too specific of an item to give to Tabitha to go into the real world with. It's just way too specific for it not to play a part.
And Eloise is the only one who would recognize it, because she's the only one who knows Escape Fromland.
Yeah. Exactly. We got Julie B. Welcome, Julie B. Good to have you. Yeah, I like it. It's again, I've been racking my brain ever since I saw Victor hand her this lunchbox. I just knew it was going to come back into play into some way, shape, or form. And my original thought was very similar, that it's going to be the catalyst that kind of brings Eloise and Tabitha together, maybe, because like you said, Eloise would recognize it. She would have the best chance of recognizing it anyway. I like it. And we do know that Tabitha is traveling to, some familial house that has a very close connection to Eloise, whether it's her husband or father. Her father seems to be the most popular theory, and he very well could be her father. But yeah, that's one of the two new characters.
Years old.
Yeah, so he's old enough. He's old enough to be a father figure. And I mean,
I think
everybody saw these pictures here. Very clearly, we got some Eloise action. Sorry, what was
that? He'd be 20 when he had Victor.
Oh, so that lines up perfect then. If like you said, if the actor's in his 70s, we know Victor's around what, like 50, early 50s. So yeah, that would be perfect. That would line up.
Although Miranda, if you look at her actor, it would put her at like 24. So she'd actually be older than him.
Okay.
In this scenario.
Yeah, I like it. It's again, we're going to see the way they've been setting up Eloise. It seems like she is going to play some significant part in the future of the story. I get the feeling she might be still alive. We don't really know exactly what happened to Eloise yet. According to Victor, he found his mother's body next to the bottle faraway tree. And like you guys mentioned earlier, even with Victor's memories being a little bit sus, are we 100% able to take everything Victor says at face value this point going forward? Victor says he found his mother there, but is that 100% the case? I feel like they have introduced that question into the plot for us as the audience, that maybe we're supposed to question some of the things that Victor says, knowing that his memory isn't 100%. But I do think he's going to continue to unlock memories like he has in seasons 1 and in seasons 2. He's going to continue to have some things that trigger these memories that make things come back. And maybe we'll learn a little bit about Eloise through that, or hopefully through Tabitha's storyline.
Because originally with the bracelet, if you take away what Victor sees with his mom and his memory, and because that to me is where like the question comes into, and we just go with what Tabitha, when she finds the bracelet, to me, I always thought of it as like a lost and found. Like From originally was sort of like this place where lost things go, and they just kind of end up there. Because there's all this random stuff in From, right? It's not just the bracelet. There's like a multitude of just random items that seem to be sort of like, I don't know, just things that we haven't so much forgot about, but maybe aren't as prevalent today. Even the diner, that sort of old style, is something that's kind of lost to us, but it's kind of found in From.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like the writers are definitely trying to tell us something about that. We're seeing a lot of things that seem to be very period correct, very period accurate. All the clothes on the monsters, for instance, they seem to be very period correct, seem to all kind of come from a very similar time period. They're definitely, I'm not sure what they're telling us yet, but they're definitely trying to tell us something in terms of seeing these period correct things pop up. And of course, we get all these dates in the lighthouse that seem to be references to other significant time periods. We see the Civil War soldier pop up. It seems like that is going to play some sort of part going forward. They're sprinkling that in there. So yeah, they're laying the breadcrumbs for all of these really kind of insane mysteries. And, as the show continues to progress, and as we get more and more, context for everything around us, we'll slowly start to be able to put some of these pieces together in a more definitive way, I feel. But yeah, no, I love it. I love everything that they're setting up. This really is. Is there a more interesting show that's on right now, or a show that challenges you more than this? I don't think so. And that's why I love it. I love being challenged as a viewer, and the show really makes you think.
And I'm wondering with Fatima's pregnancy, like, what is the baby? I know we all say, what is the baby doing to her? But like, what is this child exactly? And can she even eat normal foods? Like, is that part of why she's degrading? Because she's not able to eat what you would think of as normal foods, like she's supposed to be eating organs or something. I don't know. I was just thought, like, I thought about that, especially when I'm seeing this, like, she's losing her teeth and stuff, almost as if she's malnourished. So I'm like, is she not eating?
I think it's an accelerated pregnancy.
It definitely seems to be accelerated. I mean, there's no way this is going to be your regular average 9-month gestation. At least it doesn't appear to be that way. You know, the way that this show has been progressing timeline wise, if they were to do a 9-month pregnant period, they would have to throw some kind of time jump in there, or it would be seasons before this pregnancy came to fruition.
Well, no, like
She'd be giving birth at the end of the show.
And stuff like that. When people start losing their teeth, it's usually from like a form of malnutrition. So like her losing her teeth makes me think she's not taking in the proper amount of nutrients that she needs to support this, even whether accelerated, not accelerated. I mean, I'm sure it's accelerated, but that would, you would have to support that nutrients. Is she able
she's
to
not giving
eat?
the baby what it needs to survive. I mean, maybe she's under, like you said, maybe she's under the assumption that this is just a normal pregnancy and she's eating normal food. But maybe, like you said, maybe this baby needs a little something extra. Maybe this baby needs a little organ slurpee. No, something's up with this pregnancy. Again, they've clearly been setting up a lot of very strange circumstances around it, from Fatima believing she can't get pregnant, the whole weird feelings that Ellis keeps having about it being born with fangs and claws. They're clearly gearing us up for this pregnancy to not be normal.
Right.
Who thinks in the barn the monsters are operating on Fatima and removing her baby, and that's why Boyd is telling her to be strong?
That was my original theory. I did a whole video on it like a month or two ago. That was the first thing that popped into my head. Was I thought it was a long shot when I first thought it, but I thought, could there potentially be this small chance that, because we know the nurse monster is in that barn with them, could there be some small chance that Fatima is being forced to give birth in front of Boyd? And that's, I mean, it supports the dialogue a little bit more in terms of Boyd saying, you know, you're strong, you're so strong. That sounds like something you would say to someone who's going through a painful labor. But then a lot of people brought up the whole Sarah, and the Sarah instance as well.
Is that what you say when someone's getting tortured?
No,
you're so strong.
That's what I'm saying. Well, the only thing that I will give credit to the people who brought it up. I didn't think of it until someone said it. We do hear Boyd and Sarah, they do have a conversation. I believe it's at the end of season 1, might be season 2, where Sarah is saying over and over to Boyd, she's not strong enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough. So some people took that as maybe this is Boyd saying, you're so strong. You are strong enough. But I don't know. I love the Fatima theory personally. I feel like it fits a little more.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. I just wanted to.
I can hear you, Julie. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah. I'm using a new Chromebook, so I wasn't sure if it was working. Yeah.
Sound good. What do you think about this?
Great. I actually had the same theory that Taryn is suggesting. I completely, like, from the very first time I saw the teaser, I was just like, it's Boyd talking to Fatima. I mean, you're so strong. You're so strong. I know. It doesn't sound like something you would say to someone who's being tortured to death. I mean, yet you might, but it seems like he would be saying other words, screaming, no, don't, like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
sounds like someone being coached through something and not exactly being coached through getting tortured. No, I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And just look at the emotion on his face in that teaser. I mean, he cares about everybody in the town, but I mean, he stoically pulled that rebar out of Kelly's head without shedding a tear. Like he cares about people, but I mean, this seems to be someone he really cares deeply for. His eyes are welling up. I mean, if this is his grandchild possibly being ripped out of Fatima in a gruesome way, it just seems to fit. I mean, I don't know if it's going to come to pass. I mean, the full trailer makes it a little more confusing, and maybe the point is to confuse us and not connect Fatima to that scene. I mean, it's still entirely possible. So, I mean, I'm not giving up on that theory.
Can I give you guys 3 data points that suggest that it is a surgery? Number 1, Fatima's surname is Rostami, and the legend of Rostam, which is where the name Rostami comes from, is basically this like mythical Iranian figure, and he's famous for being birthed via cesarean. In fact, in Iranian language, in Persian, the word for cesarean section is a Rostam Zad. So that's why I think Fatima's middle name or surname is Rostami, as a clue to the cesarean section that's coming when they cut the baby out of her. That's what I think. The
Interesting.
second thing is that Ricky He said that there was a practical effect in season 3. He said this in his AMA on Reddit that horrified everyone and gave Boyd the Harold Perrineau nightmares. So it's clearly referencing this scene. Now, and Harold also said on the IMDb boat in an Instagram story that Catalina Moreno shared, again, he repeated that one of the scenes on the show traumatized him for life. Now, on this show, we've seen little girls completely disemboweled. We've
Right.
seen people completely ripped to shreds. We've seen monsters of all sorts.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be a forced cesarean of a baby? That sounds messed up enough to give someone nightmares and traumatize them. I don't think
It's
someone
certainly
being
traumatic.
tortured is enough.
Yeah.
But that's it. So.
Yeah, he said every time
It's
he closed his eyes, he kept seeing this, like, for
yeah.
months. He couldn't get this out of his head when he would close his eyes to sleep, and then when they went back to do some editing and he had, they had it on the screen, he said he couldn't look at the screen. So, I mean, he's looked at this horrific mutilated corpse of Megan, so, I mean, how much worse can it get? It boggles the mind, really.
And that's the
Robert
thing
said
about
that
film
Fatima's surname is Hassan.
It's her
Oh,
middle
okay.
name
Yeah.
then. Her
Okay,
middle
I'm
name
not
is
sure on her
Rostam.
full name. I can't confirm that myself personally, but I do think I have heard Hassan before, though. That does
No, but
sound familiar.
her middle name is definitely Rostami.
Okay, could be her middle name then. But yeah, I mean, the show has certainly shown that they're not afraid to go pretty gory. I mean, the very first episode, the first 10 minutes of the first episode, we see just how high the stakes are in this show, that even children as young as Megan can be gruesomely, brutally murdered in the drop of a hat. So the show has established very early on they're not afraid to kind of go to that line or maybe even cross that line a little bit. So yeah, I do think something like that. I do think that is not something they would shy away from if they wanted to throw something like that in there. They have shown that they can go pretty gory. That's what I love about From. Like, very early on, they established the stakes super early that, as the audience member, just what is at stake in this show. And that's why I really love that first episode so much. It just sets up the rules and kind of what you're dealing with so clearly, and that nobody is safe, not even children, and maybe not even pregnant women. So no, it's an interesting theory. It is an interesting theory.
But that's also another Lost connection. Look at how pregnancy on the island of Lost worked.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still so many connections between this show and Lost. It's
So
like
many.
just another one. It's just there, check off another box.
It's so, and that's what I love about it. I mean, I'm a huge Lost fan personally, but yeah, I mean, anyone who's watched Lost and is now watching From, you can clearly see all the parallels. There's so many parallels between these two shows. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's yeah, definitely do, Ando. I'm telling you, man, watch Lost. And anyone else who maybe hasn't watched Lost yet,
Ando,
I know it's been
yes.
out for a while. Check it out. Lost is on Netflix right now. They have all of the seasons up on Netflix. And now's the perfect time to get into Lost, because there is a really awesome Lost documentary that's coming out pretty soon that was made solely by just diehard fans of the show. It's not Hollywood produced. It is independently made. They originally crowdfunded it on Indiegogo, for crying out loud. And you only do that if it's a passion project. And they were lucky enough to get picked up by Netflix, I believe. So it will be on Netflix at some point. So now is the perfect time to get into Lost. You can catch all of it on Netflix just in time for the documentary to come out, probably in a few months. But yeah, great show. If you like From, you'll probably like Lost.
Definitely check it out. I'm watching for the first time right now, and I'm right nearing the end of season 3, and I've already seen so many parallels. It's just it's a hell of a ride, this show. I am loving it.
Yeah. No, I'm dying for you to finish season 3. Because something big happens at the end of season 3. And I'm looking forward for you to see that and get your reaction to it. And then you're heading into season 4, which again is probably my favorite season overall of Lost. Apart from, I love season 1 a lot, but season 4 really starts to get into the thick of things, and you really start getting some answers, and the plot really starts to advance like at a steadier pace from season 4 on. So you're getting into the thick of it now. So yeah, I mean, if there's one show I could just erase from my memory so I could rewatch it all over again and just experience all over it again, it would definitely be Lost, without a
I've
doubt.
heard other people say that. I've actually heard other people say that same thing. Like they wish they could experience the whole thing over again and just not even remember, just experience it for the first time. And it is amazing, amazing. And I mean, yeah, you're hyping me up. Like now I'm more excited than ever to keep going with it.
I said to her, I said, wait till she finishes so she can look at my Lost book.
Oh yes.
Oh yes, that encyclopedia. Oh my god, yeah, you have to get that.
Of Lost. Yeah.
I can't
We
wait.
had a lot of fun with that. Yeah, it's just such a rich and very rewarding show by the time you get to the final season, in my opinion anyway. I know not everybody liked the ending, but in my opinion, I feel like maybe not everybody paid attention as close as they maybe should have, because I got every answer I was looking for by the time that show ended. But you know, that's the thing about endings and shows in general. It is subjective. That people get something different out of shows, and that's totally cool. Totally cool.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking forward to finishing. I mean, I don't want it to be over, but you know, every time we do these streams, if you know, when the subject of Lost comes up, I'm like, oh shit, I've got to mute it. I'm about to mute it because I don't want to spoil
I've trained
too
myself
much.
to not say anything past where you are. And now that I know where you're at, I know not to say anything spoilery for like season 5 and 6. You know, I'll keep it to just like seasons 1 and 2 because I know you haven't finished 3 yet. But no, like I said, you're in for a ride. You are in for a really fun ride.
I can't be mad at spoilers. I mean, this show has been off for so many years, but I try to avoid them wherever I can. And I think I'm about to meet or find out who the hell Jacob is, because I see the next episode is the man behind the curtain. So I'm really looking forward to this because I keep hearing you guys drop this Jacob name and, you know, connect something to From. So I'm psyched.
Yeah, it's like you said, you're already noticing the parallels, I'm sure, and that will definitely continue. And Jacob is going to start getting explained a little bit more. Like once you get to season 5 and 6, they really kind of kick open the doors for Jacob. But you'll see him a little bit more. You'll see him a little bit more for sure.
Cool.
For sure. Let's see what else we got. We got another boop. We got Kim M in the house. What is up, Kim M? Welcome, welcome.
Hi. I hope you can hear me okay.
I can. You sound great. Coming in clear. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Okay. I wanted to just offer this. I think the symbol Jade and Christopher saw, it's written on the tunnel walls, is a navigation system. I think it's compass. I think it's, I just know that with the 3 that has to do with, plotting points to get coordinates, and the way the lines on either side of that straight line they're curved, and there's symbols along the outer edge. I just think it's navigation. I think that's the navigator. And I think Jade is going to figure it out with the strings and stuff. I don't know if he'll figure out this season, 3rd season, but I think he's going to be the one that figures it out. My question then is there more than one way to leave From? If Tabitha can leave through the lighthouse, there must be another way. And if so, I wonder how many ways there are to leave From. And that's all I wanted to share. Okay, thank you.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is some other, and thank you so much. That's an awesome topic discussion, because it is one that I have thought about too. I have to imagine there might be another way out of From. I have to imagine there isn't just this one kind of Matrix style jump out the lighthouse, fall through a portal way, and you end up in the real world. At least we're still not even sure how Tabitha kind of ended up in the real world. We just know she goes out of a freaking lighthouse window and boom, wakes up there. But yeah, I have to imagine, I wouldn't be too surprised if there is some other kind of way out of Fromville. I mean, when we hear the creators talk about season 3 in particular, and Julie and I were talking about this in the Discord the other night, they specifically say that the tantalizing and real possibility of escape becomes tempting for them in season 3. Now, is that because they find out that Tabitha escaped, or do they potentially find out some other means that could potentially get them out? Is the question. It's probably more
I'm
Tabitha
sure.
related,
I'm
but
sure Jim
I
learns
think there
via the
could be
phone
another
call.
one. Hmm.
Yeah.
I think Jim learns via the phone call that his wife's escaped. Like the last time Jim spoke to a
Yes,
disembodied
Yeah.
voice
your
that told him
wife
about
shouldn't
his
have
wife.
left, Jim.
Yes.
Your wife
Exactly.
shouldn't
So
have
now,
left,
yeah, it's going to be
Jim.
something
That's
like
what I'm
that.
picturing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Taryn,
it'll be like that.
yeah, it's so funny. Like Taryn, you and I came to the same conclusion and independently. It was so funny. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my
Mhm.
God, you're in my head. You posted this thing and you were like, Jim's gonna find out Tabitha escaped through the phone call and it won't
Yeah.
be a dream. And basically like your rationale was the same as mine. It was that statement that that they'll be tantalized by the very real possibility of escape this season. Now, how would this
Yeah.
suddenly seem like a real possibility? It's seemed pretty hopeless up until now. So
It did. It seemed pretty hopeless. Yeah.
so maybe this, Taryn and I, like we're in sync on that. Like maybe this is how they find out, and it needs to be a dream. I mean, it needs to be real for them to believe that this is a real possibility. So I don't think it's a dream.
No, I don't think it's a dream either.
No one would believe
I
it
do
if it
think
was a
it's
dream.
real.
I also think the phone call leads Jim to that little secondary new town. And I think that's might be where the phone call is coming from.
I think
It
it's
could
the
potentially be
1860s.
Jim and Kenny potentially maybe trying to look out for the lighthouse, or because we know, I mean, that's the thing with Jim. I've always been wondering how is he going to take this when Victor comes back to town without Tabitha. He's going to have a big choice on his hands. Does he go after her, or does he stay at home and take care of the kids? I mean, if he goes after Tabitha, he's going to potentially risk orphaning the children. But yeah, like you mentioned here with this phone call, we have to start getting another, in terms of the plot advancing, as opposed to whatever this voice was that Jim heard at the end of season 1. That storyline needs to continue a little bit. We've been waiting since the end of season 1 for that storyline to continue. We get very teased in season 2 when Jim and Donna barely talk about it, and then they kind of just shove it right back down and it never gets mentioned again. But that has been one of the biggest questions on a lot of our minds since watching the show, is who the heck was on the other end of that radio and where is that storyline going? But so yeah, when this kind of scene pops up and we hear that phone, my initial thought was it's real, and it's the same voice that Jim heard at the end of season 1. And I just thought it'd be so funny if all he hears is, "Your wife shouldn't have went home, Jim," and it just hangs up on him in the same kind of creepy Southern drawl voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what does Jim do with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I know. I think if it's the voice on the radio, they might be more inclined to actually believe it's legit, because how would they know for sure, But I mean, I think if it's the voice on the radio, I mean, the voice knew that Tabitha was digging in the basement. So that
And it
voice
didn't lie.
knows things. I mean,
It did not lie.
no, she, it was accurate. She was literally digging that hole at that time. So
And she shouldn't have, because it fell in on her. So,
not only fell in on her, and then fell in on her and led her right to where the monsters sleep, putting her in immense danger, which has raised another question that a lot of us have asked. Was that voice trying to, threaten Jim, or was that voice potentially trying to help Jim or help Tabitha? Was it a warning, or was it a menacing call that was a little bit more insidious, is the question. Because the voice kind of sounds a little bit, insidious a little bit, just from the drawl and the way that it's delivered. It does sound a little insidious, but then again, could it have just been a warning? I don't know.
Well, Jim's been set up, hasn't he, to think that it's a good voice, because we have him and Donna arguing about telling people. So clearly there's going to be a disagreement on who the voice is. Donna, who's been there longer, probably has a secret, probably knows a lot more about Fromland than we know. She's saying, no, don't pursue this voice. He's probably going to
does she
think,
have a motive for doing that?
Exactly, but he's going to think the opposite, right? That's what they're setting up, I think. That Jim's going to think, oh, this is a good voice. I should listen to the voice. I should do what the voice tells me. And Donna's going to be like, oh, no, Jim, don't. And he's going to ignore her. That's his that's his reason on the show, right? He keeps ignoring advice and going on his own path. Like that's his problem on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got him into a
know.
lot of trouble in season 2 with him and Randall's. This is all an experiment storyline. This is all an experiment theory. We saw where that led. Jim and Randall nowhere good. So yeah, Jim, and that's the thing. I mean, I totally understand Jim's want to pursue that. It is the closest thing that they've come to getting any sort of answer, or at least up until that point, because Tabitha hadn't left up until that point yet when the voice originally comes over. You would think that would be the main thing that everybody in this town would want to investigate. I mean, nothing like that had probably happened anytime soon, anytime recent. So in terms of just this random voice coming over the radio, yeah, you would think that would want to be kind of the main priority, or one of the things that they would want to investigate the most. But like you said, Donna shuts him down instantly, almost like maybe she has a motive for shutting him down beyond just, creating panic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, Jeremy. I'm gonna drop off because it's 4 a.m. here.
I know it's super late for you, my friend, but thank you so much for joining me. And it's always a fun time getting you on and hearing your ideas.
If I may leave you with one prediction,
please.
I think after season 3, we won't see modern day Fromland anymore.
Ooh.
I think the rest of the show will be older versions of Fromland. And I think Jim and Kenny have gone to the 1860s, and they're going to meet a whole bunch of historical figures.
Cannibal Village, here we go.
Well,
Yes,
actually, I think it's Caroline Dye, the hoodoo witch doctor, making Condi dolls. But anyway, thanks very much for having me. I very much enjoyed the show. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for your time, my friend. You're welcome on here anytime. I appreciate you. Everybody, get out there, subscribe to Terrence's channel if you haven't already. He did his first live stream today. Maybe check it out on the replay if you didn't have a chance to catch it live, and give him a sub. Let's get those numbers up.
Thanks very much. I'll drop a link in the comments. Oh, it probably won't work, but yeah, thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah. Drop a comment in the comment section. I'll make you a mod so you can drop your link.
Thank you very much.
No problem. No problemo. No, I like the idea of potentially the, Fromville kind of time period potentially changing. The one thing that has always been kind of puzzling to me has been the vision that Tabitha has at the end of season 1. Now, a lot of us were so focused on the numbers and the lighthouse portion of the vision, and really the first part of that vision is just as mysterious when she's walking through the town of Fromville, and it looks like she's in a completely empty town. She's looking around. She has this puzzled look on her face. Maybe that could be a potential explanation that maybe Tabitha does eventually get back into Fromville, and it's an empty town. Everybody's gone at that point. Maybe they've been forced to relocate somewhere else, or maybe even to Taryn's point, it's a different time period in general, and there's just nobody there to greet her when she gets back. Because there's a incredibly puzzling look on Tabitha's face in that vision when she's kind of looking around the town. It almost looks like she's looking around and trying to find someone, like there's nobody there. But no, interesting theories. That's why I love this show. I was totally cool with seasons 1 and 2 not really giving us a lot of answers. I was kind of anticipating them just setting up a ton of mystery for the first 2 seasons. Season 3, you definitely want to see them start getting into some of these answers for sure. But I love the way that they have set this show up for the first 2 seasons, because there's so many theories that are in play right now. There's so many theories that have not been just outright debunked. So many of these things could potentially come true. But no, I like it. I like it.
I like that they introduced the town like that, because if it is a time travel kind of or displacement, that's cool. But I like the fact that if it's not, that we get to see more from. Like, I like we may get to venture forth into the woods.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I mean, it would be. That is the thing that I was really hoping that. And I know we talked about this a lot during season 2 when Jim and Randall first started teaming up, and Jim saw the drone. I think a lot of us were hoping, okay, could they potentially send this drone up as far high as it possibly could and get some kind of aerial view of everything that's around them? Because not only do most drones have built-in cameras, but we have seen that smartphones are in Fromville. People do have smartphones in this show. We saw what's her name have one, Rebarb Chick. So clearly they could easily rig something up where they attach the camera to the drone, send it up as high as they possibly can, and let's finally get a bird's eye view of everything that's around us. Because until they map this place out, or at least get a better handle of what is really around them, they're not going to get very far. They need to find out what else is out there. So yes, traveling out into the forest has always been one of the most interesting parts of the show, just for me personally, because I really want to see what the fuck else is out there, because I know
And
there's
that's
more
what
else
I
out
think
there.
they're gonna. I
Or
think
maybe
they're gonna
someone could
actually find
acknowledge
the
the peach
town.
truck map finally.
I know. I want to get
The
back to that
Peach Truck
too at
map,
some point.
yes,
God, I want to go look over
Maybe,
that
possibly,
too.
a little
could
bit.
be. It could be. I mean,
Because
that
I know
map.
we get the little totems that are possibly on the peach truck map that are at this new town that look like
Mm.
the new I'm gonna call them hoodoo statues because
Kind of
that's
hoodoo.
what
They
they
do have
kind
a
of
hoodoo
mimic
vibe to them. They do
with
have
the
a hoodoo
nails in
vibe
them
to them.
because I know a lot of you guys were out
Yep.
there talking about it as well. The nails put into them in that manner kind of
Mm.
suggest particular hoodoo statues and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
While you have that photo up, I just wanted to point something out, if I could.
Please.
Look at the one on the left. It looks like it has arms that are covering
Mhm.
its ears. Okay,
Okay,
and
like it's
then
kind of covering its ear. Okay, I see
right.
what you're saying here. Yeah, I see what you
Okay.
mean.
Now the
Like
one in
like
now
the
the
monkey totem?
yes. Now
Yeah.
the one in the middle, if you look at the lips, it looks like it has pursed lips. Like they're
Like they're
really
sewn up.
closed up. And then the one on the
Okay.
right, if you look
The
at the one on the
eyes.
right, the eyes are squeezed shut really tight.
They're shut.
So I
Yeah.
Hear
think
no
it
evil, see no evil,
represents
speak no evil.
see no yep,
Yes.
exactly. It's just out of order,
Yes.
but it's see no evil, eat, hear no evil, speak no evil. And I looked up, I know, the reference, what it means, but I just looked up, in general, trying to figure out like what they could be telling us with this.
Mhm.
And in English, it's typically used as a reference to people who choose to turn a blind eye to wrongdoings. But its
Yes.
original meaning in Confucianism is to teach prudence and the importance of avoiding evil. So this could
Mm.
be a clue, like a warning to people. We were already speculating this, and this kind of backs it up, that maybe there's danger here. It's a warning to people to
Yeah.
stay away, or it could
Or
be
could they
warding off.
physically repel evil?
It
Like,
could
are they
be,
actually repelling evil? Like it's another form of talisman, keeping monsters and other
Mhm.
evil out of the town itself.
exactly. It could. That's what I think is the case, and so it could have that
I love
meaning.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like
Wow,
that they're
that's
gonna show
great,
this
Julie.
town
That is
because
great.
I really think they're gonna find it in like their timeline.
Mhm.
Now, whether Tabitha, when she makes it back into From, is going to like who's going to be left when she gets back? Because it looks like there's going to be some really bad stuff going down. And when she makes it back, I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to be this season. So the body count continues up, and they're out here in the woods with whatever sorcery is going on here. She may come back to an empty town.
She could. She very well
And
could. I
they're
mean,
like looking for her, and she's back like looking for them, and it's this terrible
yep.
hunt for each other.
It's again, yeah, that part of that vision has always kind of puzzled me. Just that very confused look on Tabitha's face, almost like she's kind of looking around at an empty town, and we can clearly see the Boyd Sheriff Station in the background. You can see the box in the background in one frame. She is definitely in Fromville in that vision. But yeah, she just looks very puzzled, like she's not understanding what she's seeing, and maybe that's because she's coming back to an empty town. I've always loved that theory.
And what if
We
this
got a few
place is more secure so they get to go here and they like relocate, like the town relocates?
Yeah,
Because
like
they're
maybe
out
they're
of food.
forced to leave the town for some manner.
And
Like
this
maybe
is
something
like the
happens
only
and they're
place that can
forced to
like
flee.
produce food. Like with
Yeah.
these statues and stuff, like this land can still produce, so like relocate there.
Yeah, if these things are potentially kind of warding off evil or warning of evil, like maybe whatever enclosed inside this town could be maybe it's even a better fit for the people of Fromville. Maybe they don't need talismans in here. Maybe these things are keeping the monsters out themselves. Maybe it's just another form of talisman, maybe. But I've always been very intrigued by the idea that maybe at some point they're going to be forced to abandon the town for some reason. That's always been very interesting. Let me just catch up on these super chats real quick. We got Vic. Thank you so much, Vic, for $19.99. Thanks for the awesome content lately. Well, I cannot thank all of you guys enough for all the support. It's I love getting on here and talking about whether it's From House of the Dragon, Shogun, anything else that we discuss. it's always a blast. So no, I am the one thanking all of you for taking the time out of your busy days to come and hang out with us for a little bit. So thank you so much, Vic. And we also have a gifted membership from Jen Hack. Thank you so much, Jen, for the gifted membership. And it looks like Will Smalls is now a member. Welcome, Will Smalls. Good to see you. And it looks like we got some more. We got Robert Saunders gifting 5 memberships. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 memberships gifted from Robert Saunders. Thank you so much, Robert. Very much appreciate that, my friend. Just Janus is now a member. Bean is now a member. The Grumbledore is now a member. Choco is now a member. And Petra is now a member. Welcome, one. Welcome, all. So glad to have each and every one of you here. Cannot thank you enough for all of the support. And I see the chat. The chat wants a whoa. You guys are going to get a whoa. You want the whoa. You are getting the whoa. Cover your ears, ladies and gents. Whoa is on the way. Whoa! Got to throw some glitter for good measure.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't forget the glitter.
Can't forget the glitter. Cannot forget the glitter.
Dana, you high and snacking, aren't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think you caught her. I think you caught her, Scarlett. I think you caught her. But no, I love these theories surrounding this thing, because I mean, when we look at this new trailer, this is one of the more interesting things because it's new. It's something we haven't seen on the show before, and I always kind of look at whenever we're seeing a new trailer. That's always some of the things that I look for most. What are they showing us that we haven't seen in the show before? And again, you know, we see this little town in the background. It looks like it's a smaller settlement, obviously, than the original Fromville town, but we're not quite sure exactly how big is it. Is it just these 2 buildings? Are there other buildings back there in the distance that we can't quite see? It seems like there is at least some other area out here. And then, yeah, you see these weird little hoodoo totem things. It gets you thinking, what exactly is going on? And Julie, I love the kind of hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil thing, because maybe that is what they're trying to represent here. We do see, like you said, the 2 arms kind of covering the ears, the mouth shut, the eyes shut.
Mm-hmm.
It fits. It fits. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, the arms jumped out at me first. The arms are obvious. And
now,
then I had
as soon as you said that, like, I didn't notice it at first. I'll be honest. I didn't notice that at first. But as soon as you said it, I instantly recognized what you were talking about. I was like, okay, yes, that looks like arms covering up ears.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, like you have to kind of zoom in on the others to spot those details. Yeah. It makes sense.
It fits. It fits.
It
I
fits,
like
and
it.
it fits with our theories that we've been talking about these possibly warding off evil and maybe warning of evil. So
yeah, it's I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and just one quick thing. I just wanted to just circle back just for a moment, if you don't mind. Something you were talking about before I jumped on, the bracelet. I was one of the people talking about this in the voice chat, and Sophielle and I have been theorizing that it does come from a dream state, that it was
you guys. That's right. It was you guys. I wanted to make sure I gave credit to who brought it up, because I believe we talked about it in the voice chat just on Sunday night. So yes, Sophielle and Julie. I love that theory. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love a good time travel story, in this case, it would be pretty messy. You don't have like it's always messy. It's always messy, but it's tricky because you've got 1978, you've got the bracelet being created in the 2000s, and then you have it in this period. It's messy. So we got to thinking like, okay, how could this fit into the whole taking things out of dreams? It's very possible. I mean, Miranda could have had a premonition dream, for example. And Tabitha has premonition dreams. We saw the lighthouse dream. She didn't take anything physical from it, but we've seen this happen with other characters. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, one possibility is that maybe Miranda had a premonition dream back in the 70s. She saw this bracelet, brought it out of the dream, and it could be explained that way. So yeah, just my 2 cents.
It could fit. It could very well fit, and I love, and the show has, like you said, the show has definitely already set up that precedent that things can definitely be pulled out of dreams and manifested into Fromville. Again, we saw it with the water, we saw it with Kenny's burn. They have set that up, that it is a real possibility. And again, when shows set things like that up, there stands a pretty decent chance that we're going to see something similar to that a little bit down the line. That's why shows like this foreshadow things. That's why they set things up, because there is going to be some kind of payoff a little bit later on down the road. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's why they're setting up that the dream sequences can affect the real world, because maybe that's how because the bracelet's just, it's so puzzling to think how it got there without time travel. But like you said, Julie, that theory, it explains that it's there without the kind of messiness of having to do time travel. Because you guys have heard me say time and time again, time travel stories, I have seen time travel ruin good stories so many times. Maybe it's just my personal preference, but just from a narrative standpoint, sometimes when you throw time travel into a show that isn't originally about or centered around time travel, it can make the plot very, very messy and can create a lot of holes. Again, I'm a huge fan of the arc on Lost, but they pull it together in a way that makes it kind of interesting, and it's kind of in a way that you haven't really seen before. But time travel can ruin stories if it's not done right. There's definitely a right way to do time travel, but in my experience, I've seen it done in the wrong way more often than I've seen it done the right way. So if they are going the time travel route on From, I really hope they have a solid plan and a solid explanation for how the mechanics of it work. But I like this idea way more because it kind of avoids the messiness of time travel while being able to have the benefits of pulling things out of other time periods without necessarily traveling to them. So I really love that theory. It does fit. It's a good one.
Thanks.
It is a good one.
Yeah, I like that one. Not gonna lie, that one's good.
I like that one a lot. And I don't like this, though. Crazy Matt. Looks like a bunch of anti-Stouffer's lasagna people on this panel. Crazy, don't start.
I know. I've been telling him he's going to war. He's going to war.
He's whipping up a frenzy.
I didn't even say anything to me, and he done called me out and Dana that we can't be trusted.
We are team legit lasagna on this panel. We don't go for that fake Stouffer stuff. We like the real stuff on this panel.
That's right.
Crazy,
that's right.
Man.
I know. Right? We were having such a nice conversation, and here comes Crazy Mad having to drop his Stouffer's lasagna.
Yeah. I can
get real Italian on you.
I get the Italian comes out when I get angry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The New Yorker comes out of me. I can't help it.
Yeah, I can't help it. We're proud Italians here. I mean, you got to do lasagna right. Got to do it right. Thank you, Crazy Matt, for the complete derailment, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Who set the totem? Who set up those totems? Was it the people, the monsters, or the voice behind the phone call? That's a very interesting question as well. Like, who set up these totems? Whose town is this place? Are there people already living in this town when Jim and Kenny find it? Or is it an abandoned town that used to have people living in it? But yeah, someone set this thing up. Somebody set this thing up, whether it was humans, monsters, something else. Somebody physically put these totems here.
What's up with the other weird dude they showed with the skull? Like, his clothes don't match, right? Like, is it just me, or is he given like a weird, like, 5 different outfits? Like, his shoes don't match the thing around his neck of time period, or was it just me? It could just be because the image wasn't very clear.
It definitely looks like it's a little more time period correct. It definitely does not look like it's from our time period. I mean, we see here, and yeah, you look at the shoes. The shoes almost look like freaking Nikes. Like, they almost look like shoes.
But then, like, the shirt, and he's got the scarf around his neck and stuff. And I'm like,
everything looks like it could be 1800s-esque or maybe even Pilgrim era. But the shoes, it's very interesting. You see these shoes; they almost look like they're in some kind of Adidas or something. So it's a very weird kind of getup.
It's like threw me off. I'm like, so who is this dude? Because at first I was like, okay, like, it's another person that Jade sees, like, this,
I think it's a Jade vision.
But then the shoes threw me off.
The only reason why I think it's a Jade vision is the eye. It is how fresh the eye looks.
Yeah, that is true.
When we see Jade's visions, we've seen similar stuff like this, like the dude that was flattened in the cupboard. When the very first vision that Jade ever sees of the dude that's crushed by the boulder. We see the blood kind of dripping on that dude. So the eye is what threw me off. When I saw the eye freshly bleeding like that, that is what led me to believe that this is probably another vision that Jade is having. But what is this vision trying to convey to Jade? We got some dude drinking something out of a dang skull with one eye missing, possibly wearing some Air Jordans. What the fuck's going on?
That's what, like I said, the whole way through when I watched it originally, I'm like, all right, we're having another vision for Jade. And then I like closed up, you know, you want to see what's up with the dude. And then the shoe stuck out. And I just can't.
Someone pointed out the hands, that they kind of look almost a little frostbitten as well. And they do a little bit. We see the black, or either frostbitten or maybe even scorched a little bit.
Scorched,
but
yeah,
there's just so
because
many
he's almost got
questions with this
blood
dude.
on his arm, like the darkness on the sleeve is either like, I want to say it's possible
Looks like
blood
it could be dry blood, maybe. Yeah, right there. Could be. Very well could be.
And then he's drinking a skull, which is okay, dude. What? That's interesting.
Yeah, what is up with this creepy dude? I definitely think it's a Jade vision, but what exactly is this vision trying to convey to Jade? I think is the
He's enjoying a Fromville cocktail. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick little cannibal cocktail. I mean, maybe. You know, I mean, have heard some interesting theories, and it was one that kind of popped up for me. Could this be some kind of warning or premonition for the food shortage that is coming around? Are they going to have to resort to some form of cannibalism? Because we have heard that they are going to have to potentially resort to some dire. They are going to be in dire straits when it comes to this food shortage. We've seen that. They've been setting that up since season 2. Could we potentially be heading into cannibalistic territory? Maybe. I don't know. It's been an interesting theory I've seen floating around.
Yeah,
I don't know. This dude is puzzling.
I think the child size skull, I think it could be another, like we've talked about, another nod to possible child sacrifice being a part of the history of the town, or maybe trying to give Jade a hint that, like, trying to drive him insane enough that he thinks maybe child sacrifice is necessary. You know, we had the children laying out on sacrificial looking slabs in the last vision. So this could potentially tie in with that. But yeah, I definitely think the cannibalism hint could be another, that's another interesting theory. You know, they could be driven to consider. And if anybody would, I mean, Dale's probably already thinking about it. Like as soon as.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they do have to go the cannibalism route, which character do you think will be the first to cross that line and take the first bite? Dale's a good choice.
He'd be the ringleader.
Randall might go a little crazy.
Randall, maybe Randall. Yeah, I like it.
Because he seems to freak out like he gets the cicadas again or something.
Yeah, maybe. I do just want to point this out. I absolutely love this, and I think we have found an official designation for the shoes. The Mayflower ones. They are the Mayflower ones. Forget the Jordan ones. These are the Mayflower ones. I love that. They are the Mayflower ones now. Shit.
Put the high socks on too. I mean,
I love it. The Mayflower ones. Good shit. Very good shit. I think someone will get a vision of this happening. Yeah, and I do think this is Jade's vision. I mean, we can kind of see Jade's hair right here. This looks like it's kind of Jade's crazy hair that's been getting crazier and crazier since season 1. And then in the other frame that we see Jade in, we can see this dude literally walks right up to Jade and grabs him. So this is, I do get the feeling this is going to be a Jade vision. The dude's going to walk up to Jade, grab him, and then the vision will probably end. But we see Jade later in the trailer, and he is getting grabbed up here. He's touching the red rock, and I get the feeling this is probably the same scene when he sees this dude. He touches this red rock, and then boom, the vision appears, right? Maybe touching this rock triggers the vision even, because we see him looking at this rock like it's kind of important. But then we see the thing. Here it is. The dude, we can tell this is the same dude. You see the beard, same shirt and everything. The dude literally walks right up to Jade and grabs him, and we can even see the rock in the background here. So again, I definitely think it is a vision, but what exactly is this vision trying to convey, and why is this dude coming up to Jade and grabbing him? Very similar to how we saw the Civil War soldier goes up to Jade and impales him with the bayonet before the vision disappears. So a lot of questions going on with this creepy thing. I do think it is a vision, but it's what exactly is it trying to convey is the question, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, maybe the fact that this is the second time we've seen a vision like of someone who looks like they're from the past, clearly, attacking Jade. Maybe we've talked about how people seem to occupy certain roles possibly in each cycle, and Jade is occupying Christopher's role, and maybe this before Christopher there was someone else. And so maybe the person who occupied Jade's role in the past, every time they did something horrible, like we think Christopher may have facilitated the massacre in some way, maybe revealed the hiding places of the people to the monsters. We get that strong hint. So I think maybe that's why some of these historical looking visions are attacking Jade. I think that anytime you see visions of people who are, like we've seen our characters who are dead, we've seen these historical figures. I think anytime you see these things, it's whatever entity is in control here, the big bad. I think it can use images of people who have died here and just kind of use it at will in the form of visions. So yeah, I think maybe these, this is someone else who died here as the Civil War soldier also, and maybe that's why they're attacking him, because like he's kind of connected and dialed into that role of Christopher. Although I think in the end he'll fight it. He won't become another Christopher.
I think he'll solve it, and I think Jade will probably be maybe the first one to solve it. And that's a very interesting theory, that maybe this dude was the Christopher before even Christopher. Maybe this was one of the first dudes that ever actually saw this symbol even. But no, I like that. That's a very interesting one. And we have seen a lot of evidence of certain cycles repeating over and over again in terms of characters fitting certain roles. Like you mentioned with Jade. Jade is clearly going down a very similar path that Christopher went down. Tabitha is clearly going down a very similar path that Miranda went down, Victor's mother. We got Ethan going down maybe a similar path as Victor even. So we have seen there is this kind of history repeating aspect to the show, where some of these characters seem to be paralleling some other characters' storylines in a sense. I do think Christopher was succumbed by these visions. I do think he just ultimately did not solve it. And maybe whatever the end result of that is what led to him having a hand in that massacre, whatever role he played in the massacre. It seems like the symbol kind of drove him to that, maybe. But I do think Jade will solve it. I think Jade will be driven right to the edge of sanity, and then he'll pull himself back. I think he'll get as close to going off that edge that is humanly possible, and then he'll solve it. That's kind of how I see Jade's storyline going. Or who knows? Maybe he'll just go freaking crazy and become the next Christopher and be responsible for another massacre. That is possible too. Who knows?
I just love Jade,
I love Jade.
And the first, actually, now that I think about it, there are two visions now. So we think this is a vision that's attacking him. The Civil War soldier attacked him. The guy under the boulder screamed at him. The dummy screamed at him, and I think the dummy kind of represents like this place wanting to use him as a puppet to be the next Christopher. This big bad wants him to,
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we've got this common thread of these visions of the past screaming at him, attacking him. It's like either these visions are trying to warn him, don't become the next Christopher, or they're trying to drive him insane so he becomes the next Christopher.
It seems like it's one of those two. Like these visions are either trying to drive him further and further mad, or they're trying to give him hints of something that he needs to interpret that he has been unable to correctly interpret yet. I do get the feeling they are messages of some sort. In some way, shape, or form, I get the feeling these visions are trying to show him something specific, but it could just be trying to drive him further and further mad, maybe. That's possible as well.
I think everything with Christopher is a misdirect. I do not think Christopher is the one who caused the massacre. I think Christopher is the one who was trying to stop the massacre, just like Jade is going to be the one who stops whatever massacre is coming up next. I think it was
Interesting.
all a misdirect because it's like they're guiding us in that direction to believe it. Like I think Christopher isn't the bad guy. I think
Okay.
Christopher tried to stop something or figured something out, and Fromville kind of bit back like it seems to do.
Okay.
And I think
And in
maybe
terms
he
of
was possibly trying to stop Miranda from doing something.
okay, like maybe Miranda was the one who was really behind this massacre. That it would be a very interesting twist. And in terms of the misdirect, we have seen the show kind of
Mhm.
play similar things like that in the past. We think back to the tent at the end of season 1. What was dragging Boyd and Sarah's tent? Now, when we originally see that scene, I think a lot of us thought whatever's dragging this tent is potentially going to harm them or means them harm. But then when they wake up the next morning and in the next episode, all of a sudden they magically find themselves incredibly close to the lighthouse, almost like something dragged their tent in the direction that they were supposed to be going. Maybe someone was trying to help them by drag the tent, not necessarily harm them. And then again with the voice at the on the radio at the end of season 1, we hear this cryptic message that is given to Jim. Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole, Jim. Now, is that a menacing message that is trying to kind of screw with Jim? Or was that a genuine warning that Jim just should go tell his wife that she should not be digging this hole because something bad is going to happen? So there has been these kind of misdirection kind of scenes that kind of seem one way on the onset, but then when you stop and kind of really think about it, and the tent one is the kind of biggest evidence of that, in my opinion anyway. We see this, what seems to be this menacing thing dragging this tent. Obviously they're thinking it's a monster. They're looking over for the talisman, trying to get it hung back up as soon as possible. But then when we stop and think about it and really analyze that scene, whatever was dragging them dragged them closer to the lighthouse, not away from it, almost like it wanted them to find the lighthouse. So yeah, we are seeing this kind of theme of misdirection where it might seem like harm at one point, where maybe it's not really trying to harm them, maybe it's trying to help them. And maybe we're seeing something similar with Christopher, where all the signs kind of point to Christopher potentially going mad and having a negative impact on this massacre, maybe causing it to happen. We hear Miranda, Victor's mother, say to Victor and Eloise, find somewhere where Christopher can't find you. Not where the monsters can't find you, where Christopher can't find you. But if Miranda is the one that was really enacting that massacre, maybe that was just her trying to keep her children safe while she enacted the massacre on the rest of the town. And Christopher was trying to, like you said, stop it. So yeah, we have seen them play with potential ideas of this big misdirection from time to time. I like it. Let me catch up
But
on
we
this. We got
also
Crazy
like
Man.
know that sorry, Crazy Mad.
Sorry, I just want to get this real quick. We got Crazy Mad for $9.99. Thank you so much, Crazy Mad, for the $9.99, my friend. Jade is my boy. And any of you that don't agree spends a night in the box. Also, be wary of anyone who is a fan of Donna or Jim. Yeah, Crazy Mad does not like Jim or Donna, and he's sus of anyone who is fans of Jim and Donna. So for that reason alone, I kind of want to hold out a little bit of hope for Jim. I'm still Team Jim. I know everybody hates Jim. I am trying to hold on to the hope that Jim might be useful at some point. I think he will. But thank you so much, Crazy Mad. And yes, a night in the box you will get.
All right, ding-dongs. It's almost go time. Anybody fucks this up, you spend a night in the box.
My favorite Jade line ever.
Yeah, the best.
Yes. He's the best. He's got some of the best dialogue. It's just so funny. Very clippable for a live stream. And we have Choco Beauty 8 for a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much for the $5 super sticker, my friend. I very much appreciate that. And it looks like it is I think that's a little chick, or is that a lemon with arms? It's a lemon with arms. That is awesome. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Very much appreciate it. And you guys know what that means. A woe is owed to our friends here. A woe is owed. Cover your ears, folks. A woe is coming. Whoa! And some glitter for good measure. Throw them some glitter for good measure. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. You guys have been so supportive. I cannot thank you all enough. Very, very much appreciate it. From Enthusiast says, "LOL, I am suspicious of Donna, but I give poor Jim a chance. Fromville is not a place to be trapped in with your young children," and that is very true. I mean, you can only imagine getting stuck here is a nightmare in and of itself. But getting stuck here with 2 small children and a wife that you have to kind of worry about as well, it completely ups the stress level. It's one thing to have to worry about yourself. It's one thing to have to worry about your family. It adds a whole other dynamic and a whole other level of danger to the situation. So yeah, again, Jim is not my favorite character by any means, but I'm trying to hold on to some hope for Jim. But again, if he puts on the man bun one more time, he's done. I'm off the Jim. I'm off the Jim bandwagon if he throws up that man bun one more time. That's it.
Well, we know that he's still a blockhead because he's Captain Obvious there in the trailer. Oh, gee, you think this place is getting worse? Or, oh, this place is getting worse, isn't it? You think? Really?
Oh, I will be so sad if Jim goes out into the woods and dies. So sad.
So sad. I know. So sad. I know so many of you will be heartbroken if Jim dies. Just heartbroken. I really think Jim and Tabby are really sleeping because they just leave those kids to figure things out for themselves. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. The last families had big problems. Yeah, I mean, it's, showing up here with your family doesn't seem to be good. We saw what happened to Megan. Megan and the mother both died. And we saw what happened to Victor's family as well. Victor was kind of a family that got stuck here as well. We're not sure what's up with Victor's father, if he was stuck in Fromville or if he was not with them. But we know at the very least Victor's mother and her 2 children got stuck here. So yeah, having whole families get stuck here can be a bit of a problem. And same thing with Boyd. We saw Boyd, his wife, and Ellis get stuck here, and look what happened to the wife. So yeah, maybe getting stuck here with your family isn't the best idea. That is possible.
Yeah, that's right. In the first episode, Boyd was like, he asked Jim, like, "Oh, you've got your family with you?" He was like, "Oh shit,
yes,
no,
that's
poor
right.
innocent kids."
Right. That's the first thing he asks him. "Oh, you got your family with you?" Shit, that sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It is gonna be interesting. I can't wait. I cannot freaking wait for this show to return. It's again, September 22nd, right around the corner, but it still feels like these days are taking so long to go by because whenever you're waiting for something, it always seems like time just goes by way slower, I guess. But maybe it's just me. But yeah, From is no place for a baby. It reminds me of the newborn in The Walking Dead. Absolutely terrifying. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's not a conducive place to raise a family, for sure. The Walking Dead universe or Fromville, for sure. It's just not a good place to have children. Definitely not. Jim is a classic engineer, thinks everything must fit into his understanding of natural law. That's his life. And that's very true. And that's very much how Jade kind of was at first when Jade first arrived here as well. Jade was kind of looking at everything in the terms of everything's binary, everything's ones and zeros. There's an answer to everything. You just have to find it. But Jade slowly starts to evolve his way of thinking, where he starts to go a little bit more down the road of this symbol. And by the very act of Jade giving this symbol more credit, that is him opening up his mind to other possibilities, that maybe it's not just as scientific as I wanted to think. Maybe there's something more going on here. And I think the conversation he has with Tom, the bartender in season 2, when Tom comes back, is kind of further evidence or pushing Jade onto that path even more, where Jade says, "Nothing in this place makes sense." And Tom says, "No, nothing in this place is familiar." And there's a huge difference between the two. To Jade, nothing in this place makes sense because he just doesn't understand the natural order of Fromville yet. Everything has a natural order to it. We just don't understand the natural order of Fromville yet. So while it might appear that things don't make sense here on the onset, that's not the case. Things make sense. We just don't understand what making sense means in this place. So it's all a matter of perspective. And I feel like that is what Tom was trying to convey to Jade in that scene, that it's not that that's not that things are crazy here. It's that this place is just unfamiliar to you. We don't know how it works yet. But that's not to say it doesn't have a natural order as to how things really work. We just have to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, that's why Jade he's just the most intriguing character for me personally. I love seeing the journey he has gone on from season 1 episode 1 to where he is at the end of season 2, he has really opened up his mind so much, and he has really broadened his horizons to really take on other possibilities that are not just binary ones and zeros. It's not all scientific anymore. He's really looking at the more spiritual realm, trying to dive into the symbol, seeing what it means, trying to figure out what these visions mean. So I just love the journey and the evolution that Jade has gone on as a character since season 1.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
he's awesome.
I mean, especially when you consider that it hasn't even been like 3 whole weeks for these characters yet, and he's still evolved so much.
Right, exactly.
It's amazing.
I mean, for us as the audience, it feels like they've been there for months. But when you actually think about how time progresses in the world of Fromville, from the time the Matthews family arrive in Fromville to the end of season 2, it's only been a few weeks, maybe a month or 2 at most. Like, not a whole lot of time has passed.
Right.
But for us as the audience, watching this week after week for 10 straight weeks in a row, it starts to feel like past that he has. But it's grown a lot in a short amount of time. Very good point. Very good point. We got a membership chat from Larry. Thank you so much, Larry. Been a member for 12 months. Wow. 1 whole freaking year. Thank you so much, Larry, for being a member, my friend. Very much appreciate it. Yo, Jeremy and fellow Fromily, only 1 month to go. Yes. Only 1 month to go, ladies and gents. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Bring on From again. I cannot wait for this show to hit our screens. We have so many questions and so many awesome theories that everybody has been coming up with ever since season 2 ended. And I just can't wait to dive back into this world. I can't wait to start getting a little bit more of this plot kind of advanced for us. And again, the statements that the creators and the writers have been coming out with have been just getting me so much more excited for this season, because it seems like we are actually going to get some answers in season 3 in terms of the true nature of the town coming into light. The tantalizing real hope of escape is really in the forefront, and apparently the characters are going to be going on the offensive as a myriad of threats surround them. So it looks like we have a lot in store for us for season 3, and we've heard some of the actors. The actor playing Jade, I believe he said that there wasn't a single episode that didn't give him nightmares from season 3. Like, it was that scary. So I love that. It just seems like everything is kind of setting up for us to have a incredible 3rd season. And I can't freaking wait. I cannot wait. Bring it on already.
Yeah. David, who plays Jade, he said like something about, there wasn't a single script he read that just didn't give him like fiery goosebumps all over, like just burning goosebumps. Just pretty.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's when the show is operating on its best. I love both seasons 1 and 2, but I definitely prefer season 1 a little bit more than season 2, just because it's a lot scarier. Season 1 is very true to its horror roots. It's pure horror and pure mystery in season 1. Season 2 starts to go a little bit more into the kind of mystical realm with these with the cicadas and all these entities and things like that, which I very much enjoy. I love how they're kind of kicking this world open a little bit more and really establishing these other threats that are out there. I love that. But season 1 for me was just my favorite season, because it was a little bit simpler. It was very true to its horror roots, and it genuinely scared you at times. Like, season 1 was genuinely scary sometimes. Not that season 2 wasn't, but season 1, when I look back, is a little scarier. So it seems like in season 3, they're going back into that kind of horror route, just based off the trailers we've gotten anyway. It seems like they are kind of leaning a little bit deeper into that scary factor of From, bringing the monsters back. I know a lot of us really want to see the monsters have a big part in season 3, and based off the trailers, it looks like they are going to be pretty prevalent. I can't wait. It just seems like the dominoes are aligning perfectly for us to have a really, really awesome 3rd season.
Yeah, I mean, just in this trailer alone, it looks like we're seeing 2 different nights of horror in terms of the monsters, because Boyd is wearing 2 different outfits. When he's sitting in the ambulance, he's wearing his warmer outfit that we see in other parts of the trailer. So there are 2 nights where they're out, they're out and in danger. 2 different nights, the night where he has the bloody shirt, and then that night with the warmer outfit. So, I mean, it looks like we're going to get a lot of monster action.
It looks like it. It looks like I love that one scene in the trailer where we see the milkman monster kind of walks up to the cow and just dices the cow right in front of Jade, which is going to be very interesting. We know that these animals are going to be very important in season 3 with the food shortage coming, and I love the theory that the monsters are potentially the ones who let the animals out to draw the residents of Fromville out of their houses. I love that idea. And maybe it's going to happen. But we have Larry asking if we can do a poll if we believe Tabitha is in the real world or not. I vote no. All right, we can definitely do a poll. Is Tabitha in the real world? In the real world. And this has been a very interesting kind of conversation up until this point now, because a lot of us have been wondering, is she in the real world or is she in some other part of Fromville? I tend to think she is in the real world just based on a lot of the trailers that we have gotten for season 3. I thought she was in the real world to begin with, but after seeing these season 3 trailers, I'm even more convinced that she is back in the real world. It seems like she's on streets, she's meeting other characters. I mean, I suppose it could be one big, elaborate other level 2 of Fromville. That's definitely possible. But I tend to think she's in the real world. But what about you guys in the chat? And of course, the chat, the poll is up. But on the panel as well, I'll start with you, Scarlett. Do you think do you think Tabitha is in the real world, or is she in some other level 2 potential place?
Yeah, I think she's in the real world. I would, just because of the way they showed her and possibly meeting Eloise and whoever the other guy is that's possibly her father. Yeah, I would say the real world.
Okay. Interesting. Dana?
I think she's in the real world.
Okay.
I definitely think she's in the real world. I just think that Fromville is its own place. I don't think there's levels to it. I think it's still just its own big place. Because again, I have a lot of theories that has to do with Lost, but I think she's in the real world.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What about you, Julie?
Yeah, I agree. I think she's in the real world. I think that they were trying to kind of do a little misdirect or lead us down a rabbit hole with the screen on the hospital computer.
The hospital logo, yes.
Looking a little bit like the symbol, right? But now that we see scenes of her out and about, out at Henry's house, and yeah, I think she's in the real world, and I think that the fact that she happened to be pushed out in what I think is probably close proximity to the house of Victor's father, Henry, who is Victor's father. I think it suggests that she was pushed out for that, to go to that specific location for a reason. I think, if anything, I think she got out way easily, and there may be a purpose to it. Like whatever power allowed her to get out sent her to that location. Because when she went to she was saying she's going to the tower to save some children. I mean, what are the odds like she had any clue that she could possibly get out? So she may not have a wallet on her with money to even go far. So
she probably doesn't. Yeah.
No. So I think that she's going to be not far from Henry's house, and that can't be a coincidence, in my opinion.
If that is the case, I don't think, like, if she does pop up there and she happens to be in that same town as that house, then yeah, I mean, that's just too coincidental to be a coincidence. And again, I know we've been asking, we talked a little bit about this in the Discord the other night, and it's always fun talking about the boy in white because there's just so much about him that we don't know. But as he is the one that seemingly sends Tabitha into the real world, does he specifically send her to that town specifically for that reason, maybe? And again, it kind of begs the question, how much influence and how much power does the boy in white have over Fromville versus the real world? Does he have influence in the real world to affect things? And a lot of us brought up the whole Father Cautry dream, the Father Cautry vision that he has. Father Cautry thinks that this is God talking to him. As he's getting ready to off himself, he hears a voice telling him to get back in his car and to start driving. And 2 hours later, boom, he ends up in Fromville. Was that potentially the boy in white reaching out to Father Cautry to bring him to Fromville, or was it another being or entity entirely? Something is drawing these people here. These people are not being stuck here by random. They're not randomly driving into some kind of pocket portal. Something is bringing them here deliberately. I very much believe that. And the only question is, what is bringing them here? Is it just the place itself? Is Fromville itself have some sort of sentience, for lack of a better term, or are these other entities that are present in Fromville? How much sway do they have? How much power do they have? Like the boy in white, could he potentially be bringing people here from the real world? It kicks the door open for so many awesome conversations, including, pertaining to him, the boy in white. Is he on the side of good? Is he on the side of evil? Does he have some other motive that he hasn't revealed yet? It's just, this show really has everything for a fan to really sink their teeth into.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm personally on the boy in white is not good side, but not necessarily evil either. He might not, like, he knows the way out, and he didn't lead young Victor out. So initially
But he
I thought
didn't tell Tabitha either. He just pushes her. I mean, it's one thing he could have maybe let her in on it, but maybe he was afraid she wouldn't have left without her family, so he just took matters into his own hand.
Right. And I think it's possible that maybe he's a lesser of two evils in terms of entities. Maybe he has no choice but to make people stay here, possibly to keep a more powerful evil entity trapped inside. So, like that could be why he didn't show Victor the way out when he was just a kid all alone. And as far
maybe
as
he needed Victor there.
Yeah, and as far as people having visions of the boy in white, I think it's possible outside of Fromville, because Elgin had a dream with the boy in white, probably on the bus before he got to town. And
that's right.
Yeah, so I mean, when Father Khatri hears, I mean, he's a priest. He says, "For the first time in my life, I heard the voice of God." Well, I mean, what are the odds? I think it was possibly the boy in white who did that too. So we
think it could have been.
We might see Tabitha actually see the boy in white, see a vision in the real world. Maybe he wasn't just trolling us with those pictures in the hospital.
Yeah, I know. We see those pictures and it's like, is he trolling us? Or is this some kind of potential story plot that is maybe being hinted at? Because, we see those pictures, those very clear pictures of the boy in white. And he is laying in the hospital bed. I don't know if I have them here. They might be in the other folder. Yeah, they're in the other folder. But yeah, we've seen those pictures clear as day. It's the boy in white dressed in a very similar outfit that he was in when he pushes Tabitha out of the lighthouse to begin with. And he's just laying in the exact same hospital bed as Tabitha wakes up in. So yeah, is that a coincidence? Is that him just kind of trolling the fandom a little bit? Or is that potentially hinting that maybe the boy in white does have some measure of control or power in the real world? We're seeing some evidence that he does seem to have some measure of control or influence, at least in the real world.
The way he pushed her out of the lighthouse, like the way he spoke to her, made you kind of think that
this is the only way. Yes,
like he knew exactly where, kind of like what you're saying, Julie. He knew exactly where he was pushing her out to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wording of that. Yeah, but this is the only way. Like she has a mission to complete. He wants her to go to that location. Maybe he wants her to find Eloise.
I think Eloise left from with something. I think he's trying to get her back because she has something, or she is the key to something.
Or Eloise was never supposed to leave. Maybe Eloise was needed because again, if this thing is bringing specific people here for specific reasons, it stands to reason that Eloise did not, fulfill her purpose for being here. She left at a super young age. So maybe that's it. Maybe the boy in white wants Tabitha to bring Eloise back because Eloise has a very specific role that she's meant to play inside Fromville, and she needs to be inside Fromville to complete that destiny. I love it. I absolutely freaking love it.
Absolutely.
And then even how the town works with them doing the water and everything. I'm wondering if the town relies on a certain number of sacrifices from the people dying in order to continue the town working properly, and that maybe them kind of forwarding. Even how Abby told him, you don't need to do this. You're going to end up losing more people than you're going to save. It's kind of like town saying, without this, you're not going to have food. You're not going to have water. You're not going to have these things that you think just come to you freely.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's why I love this freaking show. It's just there's so many kind of different areas, so many different avenues that you can just dive into and explore. That's why I always say, have fun with a show like this. A show like this is meant to have fun with. Throw that tinfoil hat on. Dive into that rabbit hole. Have fun with this thing. Go crazy with it if that's what you want to do. These shows don't come around too often that are this well produced, this well written, and have this rich of a cast with phenomenal performances and dialogue. Just this quality of storytelling just doesn't always come around too often. These are kind of once in a generation kind of shows, in my opinion, anyway. So yeah, I mean, this show's meant to have fun with, guys. Have fun with it. Throw on that tinfoil foil hat. Go crazy with this show, and who knows where it might lead you. It's that's what the show's for. Have fun with it. Kiwi Skirt is gifting some more memberships. Thank you so much, Kiwi Skirt, for the gift of 5 memberships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And nice. I can't scroll up to see who received the memberships. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, I can see him actually. There we go. DA Stellar Napster is now a member. D-Wag is now a member. My brother D-Wag. Thank you, bro, for being here. Always good to see you. Danny is now a member. Henry Bemis is now a member. And Crazy Description is also now a member. And Kiwi also threw a 13-month member chat. Wow, 13 months, more than a year. Thank you so much, Kiwi Skirt. You have been vital to this show in terms of dropping links, throwing links to the Discord. You've been absolutely instrumental. I've always said, when I get to a point where this channel's making enough money, Kiwi is the first one that is getting a paycheck. She's earned it. She has earned it. And we got Larry for $5. Thank you so much, Larry. Don't forget, Old Man Martin said, I thought the town was the worst part, implying the town isn't all of it. I don't trust him, but still interesting. Yes, Larry. And I mean, the whole Martin thing is just one big freaking mind screw up. It's just so trippy when you think about the mechanics of Martin. Was this real? Was this some kind of hallucination for Boyd? Was he really there? There's so many weird things pointing to Martin being real, and there's so many things pointing to him potentially being one big hallucination. And that's what I love about the show. There's so many different avenues you can kind of run down into and explore. But yes, as you mentioned, Martin said that the monsters were only the quote-unquote tip of the spear, and he thought the town was the worst place until he went through the tree. So wherever Martin's faraway tree took him, if we are to take Martin at his word, and we still don't know if he's telling the truth or not, or if he's even real, if we're to take Martin at his word, when he went through the faraway tree, it sent him somewhere dangerous, somewhere that was much worse than the town. And he also found out that the monsters were only the quote-unquote tip of the spear. And if that's the case, yes, there is much more out there. There's much more other dangers out there that we have probably not even been introduced to yet. That whole scene with Martin is just, there's so much gold to mine in that scene in terms of foreshadowing future events. So yeah, you're absolutely right. We got to keep that in mind. There's definitely other places out there, and there's definitely other threats out there. For
Definitely. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that like going back to what I said about how I think whatever big bad is in charge, it can use the images of people who have died here. I think Martin is someone who
saw it with Abby and to Boyd in season 2. That was clearly not Abby.
No, and I think Martin is someone who died here for real, and you know that the big bad chose Martin because he had this Marine tattoo, which would appeal to Boyd. You know, a mind book for him. You know, that leave no man behind motto. He like this entity, this big bad would know. Boyd was military. Boyd is not going to leave this man. He'll stay long enough to get the bloodworms. And but just because just because I think this was a mind fuck doesn't mean that everything he said is not true. I think that like tidbits of truth slip in there, like the tip of the spear comment. I think that's true. And I think that what Evil Abby said at the end of the season, I think she may have dropped a tidbit of truth.
It's not fear, it's hope.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. I fucking love it. And yeah, that's the thing. Just because some of these things might be not 100% legit, it doesn't mean that everything they're saying is false. Like you said, so it could be a little bit of truth mixed in with some misdirection. And yes, in terms of the whole tip of the spear thing, I definitely think that was the case because we kind of saw that get proven in season 2, where we see the monsters at first and we think they are the biggest threat to the town. Then all of a sudden, this crazy entity comes around that's even more powerful. So clearly, what Martin was saying was true. There are other threats out there that we have yet to be introduced to. So yeah, it could be very much a mix of truth mixed in with some kind of misdirection, maybe. But yeah, Martin, huge.
Yeah, I
huge
so
part to
think Martin was either an aspect of the entity and the entity itself, but I do not think that Martin was just a nobody stuck in that dungeon. It was too all that whole scenario was just too easy. He got he was able to get Boyd from stuck in that little chimney or whatever you want to call it. He
How the fuck did he
meets
throw that rope
Martin,
down the Boyd? How did he
right?
throw that
He
rope
gets
down?
the
He's
bloodworm.
strapped to a freaking wall. How are you throwing ropes down wells if you're strapped to a wall? Come on.
Like
Why
it's
would if
just
he was supposed to just kill or like beat the music box up? Why wouldn't he tell him like he's like, oh my god, your music box
Exactly.
is coming?
Destroy
Like, why
that
did you
thing.
tell him like destroy it now,
Yes.
kill it?
right?
Exactly.
Like if
He
that
says you need
was
to
his
get out
chance.
before. He tells him
That
you need to get out
friggin'
before the
music
music
make
box.
sure he
I'm
left.
telling you, that
But then
music
why
Why
box.
not
he
just
got
tell him
the
to destroy it? Like if Martin knows the answer, if Martin really is a good guy and he knows more than he's saying, yeah, why not just say, hey Boyd, smash that music box over there and it's all done.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's super
And then he
sus. He's super
disappears,
sus.
which so sus. Because I get it, like if
Super
he
sus.
wasn't under the same complete control the same way the 3 were.
No,
No, he wasn't in that kind of coma-like state where Julie and Mari and Randall were. Their eyes were kind of pushed back white. They were screaming like they were in excruciating pain. He was conscious and lucid, and he even knew things about Boyd that he probably shouldn't have known in terms of maybe Abby was right. And as soon as he says that to Boyd, it's like, what the fuck? What's up with you, bro? You're sus. You're super sus.
What if it's all just a dream? What if Abby was right? Yeah.
What if Abby was right? What if it's all just a dream?
What's even crazier is if the Martin, like whatever Martin, the music box, that whole scenario is not even the entity itself. Like, what if this is just another monster, another nightmare creature that's in this world? And there's something like the levels they could go with the amount of fuckery.
Right? We need our fuckery clip, Scarlett. We need the fuckery clip. It's all just fuckery.
There's a lot of fuckery going on with this show, and that's what I love about it. We're getting, in some points, you get some really, really good plot points, some really good data points that you can kind of point to reference things, and then some things they're throwing in there that are just very ambiguous. And that's what I love about the show. You get a really good mix of both things, where you're getting the plot advancing in some cases, and in other cases, you're just getting the possibility of more theories and more crazy possibilities that could potentially come around the corner. And that's why I say, like, this show really does have something for everybody. No matter what you like in storytelling, you're going to find something in this show that you're going to gravitate towards. Whatever aspect of storytelling is your favorite, you're going to find something in From that is there for you. And that's why we try to scream the show from the rooftops. I mean, it's just such a good show. I struggle to think anyone who really gives this show a true chance would outright hate it. I struggle to think that's even possible. Of course, it's possible. Everybody has different preferences, but I know at least from us and from most of the people that we've introduced the show to, they've loved it, and I'm so happy about that. We want as many people as possible finding out about From and how awesome this show is. I can't wait. I just cannot wait to see where this story goes. I cannot wait to see how it unravels, who's going to be safe, who's going to be on the chopping block. I definitely get the feeling we're going to get some big character deaths in season 3. We need to get back to that point where the feeling that anybody can go at any given time is very prevalent. Like season 1. That's why I love season 1 so much, especially after Father Cautry's death. You really get that feeling like anybody could go at any given time. Father Cautry thought his path was just starting. He thought he had so much more to do in terms of saving these people. He thought he was living the 74th book of Revelations. And then all of a sudden he gets his path just cut down super quick. And we see, again, you guys have heard me reference this way too many times probably already. I probably sound like a broken record, but I love that scene so much. That is my favorite scene in From Father Cautry's death, because just the way that it's acted out, the way that Sean Legender plays it, it is so heartbreaking. You see him bleeding in Boyd's arms, and he's saying, my path, my path, my path. And he knows, well, at least he thought, that God gave him this very specific, very important path that he was led on. And then he sees it get cut down, and he doesn't understand why. He's not understanding what's going on. Why did God cut my path short, is what he's probably thinking. Yet he never let him shake or lose his faith. The last thing he says to Boyd is, pray with me. That is why that scene is so beautiful for me. I'm not a big spiritual person myself. I'm not a big religious person personally. I have my certain beliefs, don't get me wrong. But when I see that, he was so convinced that God or some higher entity put him on this very specific path, and then to see that path get cut down and it still doesn't shake his belief and his faith, it just points to the faith, how strong his faith was. And even though I'm not a crazy religious person myself, I really resonated with that scene, just seeing the strength of belief, what it can do for somebody, that you can be on your deathbed and you can still have a positive outlook and still have the wherewithal to say, pray with me. So that's why I really love that Father Cautry scene. It was just beautifully acted, beautifully written, definitely my favorite scene so far in the series.
It was so heartbreaking. I felt bad, like, even just as a fan watching it and knowing, like, okay, they set him up to go out and he saved Sarah essentially, right? Like, if it wasn't for him, they would probably like kill her. And then he just like turns around and this monster's there, and you're done.
Well, yeah, what a low blow too, because I mean, of course, as a priest, he instinctively would turn around to avoid saying "Father." That's how they got him. And here's the thing: I actually think that he was right. He did have a path. It's just that the entity that had that path in mind for him was not God. He was called in by what he thought was the voice of God, but I believe it was an entity within Fromville. And if you notice the timing of his death, it happened like maybe minutes or like a minute amount of time after he convinced Boyd not to put Sarah in the box. I think that was what his path was actually supposed to be. And once he fulfilled that purpose, that was it.
Sarah.
Yeah.
And I wondered if that was her real voice or if they were able to change their voice now, given what we see in the trailer with Ethan.
Yes. Hell yes, Scarlett. You're reading my freaking brain. Why else would Ethan open this door in the dead of night unless this granny monster was maybe mimicking Tabitha's voice? Ethan is going to be in that state where he knows his mother is missing. He's going to be in that kind of state where if he hears his mother's voice, he's going to run to that door and open it. So
it wasn't just Ethan, right? Like, I try to watch this little part of the trailer real closely because, of course, Ethan's face, we kind of catch that, like, almost you kind of watching him. But with, I'm forget characters' names. It's been so long with the
Julie.
Thank you. I wondered because she was at the door with him. Like, did she hear what he heard too? Like, it catch them both off guard.
That's a good question. Yeah, did they both catch it? Did they both hear it? I tend to think only Ethan heard it, just because in the trailer we see Julie yelling to Ethan to not open the door. So maybe, or maybe Julie did hear it and maybe knew that it was one of the monsters, but I get the feeling only Ethan is getting tricked in this scene. And we have seen that that children seem to be a little bit more susceptible to these monsters' kind of tricks and their deceptions, which we saw happen with Megan early on. So yeah, maybe Julie might hear it too, but just from what I saw, it looks like it's only Ethan, but it could be both of them. And we see them quickly turn around, dart outside, and then later on in the trailer, we actually see them outside, and it looks like, of all people, Sarah comes to their rescue. After they run outside. This looks like it is a continuation of that scene. We see Julie in a panic state wearing the exact same sweater as when she opened the door. And then boom, we see Sarah's hair right here. And we see Sarah grabbing them up. And we see Sarah actually has Ethan right here. This is actually Ethan's head. So
to scare the crap out of me, I would be like, let go of Ethan. What the hell?
That's the thing. I imagine how Julie is going to feel. Like the last time Sarah and Ethan were together, she tried to kill him. So it's very ironic that she, of all people, comes to Ethan's defense when she tried to kill him last time they met. It's very ironic.
It made me think of
yeah,
Victor too, like how Victor saved Julie through the boy in white. Like, is she gonna get a message for them to go through a tree?
Yeah.
But get cut
Maybe.
off because I think Julie gets scratched up, right?
I thought it was Julie at first, but it's not. It's a character that
Okay.
looks an awful lot like Julie, but she has very, very short hair. Because I thought it was Julie too. Yeah, we see it looks like Colony House door. Someone opens Colony House door, or at least a monster gets in Colony House, it looks like, and someone gets clawed and they fall back. I thought it was Julie at first until a few people in the Discord pointed out that they didn't think it was Julie. So I did some kind of detectiving, and I slowed it incredibly down and got some screenshots. Whatever character that gets slashed in that scene has very short hair. So it's not Julie.
You guys are killing it. I'm so out of the loop. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you've been covering evil. It's totally understandable. I'm only just now getting back into it myself. I've been so distracted with House of the Dragon and Shogun before it that I'm only just now getting back into From mode. But I absolutely love getting back into From mode. This is my favorite show overall.
Yeah, everybody's been killing it in the Discord. Like I've been trying to like keep up as much as I can. Robert tries to do his best to like keep me updated and like tell me stuff. And I try to read everybody's stuff.
We don't make it easy. We kind of we fill up a lot of space really fast. So if you miss a day, you're scrolling it forever. And
you're scrolling hundreds of messages at that point. You miss one day, it's literally hundreds of messages that you have to catch up on, and I love that. I love that the Discord is
so happy for the Discord, man.
Yeah,
the early days to where it is now, it is awesome.
Yeah, I wish I'd been there from the beginning. It's just an awesome experience. I love it. You know, I'm guilty of writing many paragraphs in there and taking up too much space.
That is where it is at, man.
There's unlimited space. There's no such thing as too much space. You guys go. That's what that Discord is for. That is exactly what it's for you guys to get in there, have fun, theorize. And like I said, you guys can hop in the voice chat, have your own voice chats anytime you want, have your own watch parties. Scarlett and Dana have hosted many of their own watch parties. That Discord is open for everybody to use in any capacity they want. The only rule is no politics and be kind to each other. That is it. Everything else, have fun with that thing. It's meant for you guys to have as much fun with it as you want. No such thing as taking up too much space.
Well, I appreciate it. Sometimes I wonder if I'm annoying people because my posts.
No, absolutely not.
No, you should have seen mine when I first started in the Discord. I was the same way. I had just paragraphs. I had cite from source material. It was fun.
And trust me, I'm waiting for you to finish Lost because I want to just explode in there with my theories. So that's why I haven't posted because I'm like, I don't want to spoil anything for Julie. I'm like, I can't write about this yet. I'm like, you gotta
talking
finish.
about the boy in white and the things you think about him, and I'm like, I want to say Lost. I want to say Lost, but I can't say anything. I'm over here muting myself.
Dig into Julie's brain.
Oh my god! I can't wait to talk to you guys about it when I finish. I can't wait. And I mean, don't worry about me. Like I can't be mad at spoilers.
No, but I would know.
And I don't know how to do that thing where you guys, when you put something up, it's like a spoiler and the thing is blocked, like black, because I'm a boomer and I don't get anything. So I don't know how to do that. So I'm just like waiting until, because like Robert's like, put up your Lost stuff. And I'm like, I can't. Julie hasn't finished watching anything yet. I'm like, I can't post yet. I promised her.
But keep it. I guess she's just about to finish season 3, so you guys can definitely throw some spoilers in there. Anything that's before season 3, no problem. But no, it's such a good show, man. It's like, again, if I could erase any memory of any show and watch it over again, it would be Lost. Definitely,
it's amazing.
And I like how it's parodying as far as season 3 because now. Just how Lost sort of started revealing, and then what we see in From now with the episode titles, particularly saying like Revelations, I'm like, oh, are we going to at least follow that same trend to give us a little bit of insight to what maybe the past and future of From is?
I think so.
Yeah, it looks like we got answers. Looks like we got answers coming in season 3. I
think
can't
it's that
wait.
double meaning. It's going to be revelations. It's going to be some answers coming, plus that biblical angle. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
the reference to Father Cautry thinking that they were living the 74th book of Revelations. I think it's going to have a dual meaning as well. We're going to get a
Oh
big
yeah, I forgot
reveal.
about that. Oh, sorry,
Yeah, and
that
it
was
could
good.
potentially be, pertaining to Father Cautry's whole 74th book of Revelations theory that he had, that they were actually living the 74th book of Revelations. And then again, there's that 7 and 4 popping up all over the place. We see 7s and fucking 4s all over the place on this show. It's just, there's so much stuff to kind of that interconnects with each other when you really start getting into the nitty gritty about this show. But I do like this real quick, and I have wondered this myself in the past, because when Boyd gets to the top, that was the deal. Martin said to Boyd, "You have to kill me." He wanted him to get shot. What would have happened if Boyd would have shot Martin? I wonder. I mean, I suppose at the very least we would have found out if he was real or fake. I mean, so that's probably why he didn't shoot him. It probably would have been too big of a reveal. But yeah, what would have potentially happened if Boyd just shot Martin like he wanted to? I don't know. That's a good question, though, Darren.
The worms would have sealed up his hole. He would rejuvenated. I don't know.
Maybe. We got 2 more questions from Larry. Thank you so much. 2 more questions. Do you think the voices talking to Sarah could be the current residents / characters from the future? And do you agree they meant for her to kill the boy in white, not Ethan? Ooh, awesome questions. Questions that we have thought ourselves in the past as well. Yeah, let's start with the first in terms of the voices that Sarah is hearing, and love to get everybody's opinion in the chat and on the panel on this as well. When I first saw that, it kind of instantly made me think that maybe these were former residents of the town that maybe died in Fromville, and for whatever reason they just can't move on. Their spirits are stuck here in Fromville because they got killed here. And I saw a little bit of evidence of that towards the end of season 1 when Sarah and Boyd are going out into the woods, and Sarah has that one specific voice that is different. She describes it as being different from the rest. This time it was female, she says, and the voice tells her about Boyd and fish and loaves, which led a lot of us to believe that maybe that was Abby. Maybe that was the real Abby reaching out to Sarah to try and tell them that there's worse things out here in the forest. Get back to the town. So yeah, that was my first initial thought, that maybe these are former residents of the town that were killed here for some whatever reason. Now they're stuck. Because we also hear Father Cautry and Julie, when Father Cautry has Julie down in the basement. Julie says to Cautry that these voices have been here. They've been waiting a very long time for someone to come around that could hear them, which Sarah can. So it seems like whatever these disembodied voices are, they have been reaching out to members of the town for a very long time, but Sarah's the first one that's actually been able to hear them. That was kind of how I took it, but would love to get everybody else's theories. What do you guys think about the voices that Sarah is hearing? Scarlett?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with pretty much what you're saying on that. Like, they're similar to how they show other people who have recently died in From and kind of come back. So whether they're good or being controlled by the entity, I'm not sure. But definitely people who seem to die in this place, it seems as if they can't leave. Like, they literally are not moving on, or it's keeping part of them trapped there in order to do whatever craziness.
Could be. Dana, what about you? What do you think about the voices?
I don't know, but I kind of agree with you that I think they were either past residents here or something in the sense of a different entity trying to reach out to, like, I don't know. There's so many different ways you could go with that voice, because and like it kill the boy. Somebody put up once, what if it was just missing the D and it was kill the Boyd and not just kill the boy?
Kill Boyd, not the boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge question. Like, is it Ethan they're talking about? Is it the boy in white, or like that? Maybe they meant to spell Boyd and just spelt it wrong. Who knows?
Or it could be foretelling to where maybe boy could also be contributed to Elgin.
Maybe.
He's not a man. He also seems to have weird connections to this place. And I think I'm hoping in season 3, I know you were asking the character story people most like you want to see most. And I really want to see Elgin because I think he's going to
Ooh,
discover something in the Brundles.
okay.
I like I
Interesting.
he has such a connection to the Brundles, and we've always been
Yeah.
like there's this mystery around the Brundles that I think
Hmm.
he is going to discover something in the Brundles.
He very well could. There definitely seemed to be setting up some sort of connection between Elgin and the Brundles. He says that's one of the first thing he sees in his vision is this body of water type thing. So no, that's very interesting. And yeah, as Kiwi brings up in the chat, that's right. Could the boy also been referring to Victor? Victor was a boy when he was originally stuck here. And as far as who knows how time passes for these weird entities? Could the boy also been referring to young Victor as well? That's also a possibility. What
Yeah.
about you, Julie? When you think about the voices, does anything pop to mind for you?
Oh yeah. So Sarah told Khatri that the voices told her that they've been here a long time and they're trapped just like us, and
Yes.
they've been waiting for someone who could hear them. So I think that they're spirits of the dead, and Sarah must have some kind of unique ability, like a medium who can hear
Hmm.
them. And
Yes.
and I think when Sarah and Boyd go into the woods in season 1 and they reach that bottle tree, there's a really interesting scene. They hear the clinking of the bottles and Sarah immediately gets uneasy, like she doesn't want to approach them. And they go up to the
Yes.
tree. Boyd pokes at the bottles with a stick and Sarah's like, "What are you doing?" Like she doesn't want him to do it instinctively.
Hmm.
And when he pokes the bottles with a stick, she starts screaming, "I hear them, I hear them." She
Yeah.
collapses into a seizure and passes out. So I think that the spirits of the dead are tied to the bottles in the tree, and they were all kind of screaming over each other in that moment.
Ooh.
It overwhelmed her body. And then later when she woke up, she told him about the Abby voice, right? So
Yep.
that's another piece of evidence that maybe these are spirits of the dead and they're somehow tied to the bottles in the tree.
Well, that would actually make a lot of sense. There's actually a lot of real world lore in our real world where putting bottles in trees like that is meant to trap evil spirits. That
Right.
that is a real thing. So you might be onto something there. It very well could be. There could be just spirits trapped inside these bottles. I saw there was a really interesting theory towards the end of season 2 that some people thought that when Boyd opened the 1864 bottle, the one that had 1864 written in it, that act is what really released the entity. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, a lot of us kind of assumed the entity came from the worms and came from Martin, but I always thought that was kind of an interesting alternative that maybe Boyd literally let this entity out of the bottle when he opened it.
That's
But no,
super
I love
interesting.
that. That's an awesome theory, Julie. I really like it.
Thanks.
I like it.
I didn't catch it on the first watch, but like when I watched it again, I noticed the scene gives us a clue because when they're under the tree and he pokes at the bottles, right at the moment where she's screaming, "I hear them," the camera pans up really fast to the bottles on the tree clinking together. And
Yeah.
it's like it wants us to connect her saying, "I hear them," to those bottles in the tree. It's a really interesting shot. So yeah.
Interesting. Very
It makes
interesting. Yeah,
sense
it's
too
just
because then
it
Boyd
does.
going into the tree, him releasing it activates sort of that
Yeah,
quest, and then
good
him
point.
going through the tree, he's the one that activated it, so he gets that entity, that horror, that nightmare of a scenario.
Yeah.
There's some symmetry to it. Absolutely, without a doubt. I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, I mean that's what makes this show so fun. There's just so many different places you can take it in. They're really weaving such an incredibly complex narrative that it's so fun to just dive into and try and figure out where are they going with this thing. What does this mean? Not only what are they showing us on the surface level, but what is the deeper meaning behind some of these plot lines and some of these storylines? What is the deeper meaning that they're trying to tell us behind the show? Because there's always a double meaning to just about every story out there. There's what the writer is showing you on the surface, and then there's the deeper message, the deeper meaning that the writer is trying to convey by telling this story. And usually you can't see that until the story is told as a whole. But that's why I love this show, a show like this, because there's something on every level to dive into. The surface level stuff, whether it's the mysteries or the deeper meaning layer stuff that's kind of below the surface that you have to dig a little deeper for. But that's just what makes From so fun. Just for me personally, I love the mystery aspect of it. I love the characters as well. These characters are so rich. They're so interesting to see them progressing, to see where they started at season 1, to see how much they've evolved by the end of season 2. Jade, Sarah, so many of these characters have really evolved from the beginning to now. And I get the feeling we're going to see that continue. Again, season 3 is right around the corner. And it looks like we are finally going to be getting some more definitive answers in that 3rd season based on everything that we've been hearing from the creators and the writers. Season 3 is going to advance the plot probably a little bit more than the first 2 seasons did. And I'm all for it. I am all for it. Let's start getting some of these answers. Let's figure out a little bit more of this mystery, and let's advance this plot in a meaningful way in season 3. So by the time we get to the end of season 3, we have a much kind of clearer picture as a whole as to where this thing might be going. But yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Cannot wait for From season 3 to get here. And I cannot wait to share it with each and every one of you guys as well. We're going to be diving into every single episode extensively here on the channel. We'll be doing exactly what we did for our season 2 format. We'll be doing pre-shows. We'll be doing watch parties. We'll be doing after shows, episode reviews, live call-ins. We will be doing the whole 9 yards again. And I really can't wait to see where the next part of this story goes.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. But that is where I am going to leave you, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I do have to get up in, 4.5 hours for work. Dang. But that does not matter. I always have a ton of fun hanging out with you. I'd much rather be talking From than going to bed for work. That is fucking sure. But again, I cannot thank each and every one of you guys for joining us. These streams are always a ton of fun, and I'm going to definitely do way more of them. Usually we go live every Wednesday and Saturday night, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to go live tomorrow. So I figured I would do it tonight just in case. But if I am able, I will still go live tomorrow night at our usual time, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we will definitely be keeping our Saturday shows alive as well. And once we get a little closer to season 3 actually getting here, we'll be doing much, much more active streams here on the channel. And of course, every Sunday night, we are doing our live voice discussions in the Discord. So if you have not joined the Discord yet and you want to come and hang out with us in there and join some of the live voice chats and some of the live watch parties that we are going to be starting this Sunday, hop on into the Discord and join us. Everybody is welcome. And just a big thank you, huge thank you to each and every one of you who have supported the channel, and a huge thank you to my awesome co-hosts for joining me this evening, Scarlett, Dana, Julie, Taryn. Thank you so much, Kim Merriweather, who popped on here earlier and gave us an awesome discussion. Can't thank each and every one of you enough for being a part of the show tonight. And I look forward to the next live call-in stream. I'm going to try and do one of these at least every week, or at the very least every other week. We will be doing live call-in shows here on the channel and gear up and getting closer and closer to From. And everybody is welcome. Anybody who is in the chat who wants to come on and hang out with us, all of you guys are welcome. Every time we do a live call-in show, I'll throw the link right in the chat. All you got to do is click that button and you can join us on panel. But can't thank each and every one of you enough. You guys have been so awesome and so supportive. And here we go. We are counting down the days. 33, well, actually 32 now if you're on the East Coast. 32 days away from season 3. And we are going to get going. We are going to dive into it.
I can't wait. They're going to be at Comic-Con. So they announced that they're going to be at Comic-Con.
Dana's going. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Absolutely.
Dana, that's awesome. You're gonna go?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to attempt to get into that panel.
Oh my God,
Awesome.
then you can give us all this. That's awesome.
Yeah, you can give
Well,
us
I
the
told
inside
Scarlett, if I get in there, I was like, you're going to be on the phone. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to have you up, but I was like, I'll have you to where you can listen. I was like, so you're going to be on the phone.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Now, I love that they're hitting up Comic-Cons. I mean, they hit up the New York Comic-Con this year for the first time. Now they're hitting up, they hit up San Diego Comic-Con for the first time this year, excuse me. Now they're hitting up New York Comic-Con for the first time. The two biggest cons in the country. So it's so awesome to see this show kind of take that next step, and we're going to see so many people get exposed to the show that maybe weren't exposed to it before because it was on such a small streaming service. But now that it's slowly migrating to other streaming services, it's still on Amazon Prime, it's on Netflix now. This fandom is going to continue to grow. The more people that discover this show, they are going to get hooked. And I'm so glad that they are at the 2 largest cons in the country and really maximizing the exposure for this show, because it's just such a phenomenal show, and there really is something in this for everyone, no matter what aspect of storytelling you like, whether it's horror, mystery, action, suspense. There is something for everybody in this show. So get out there, dive into From Season 1, come and hang out with us this Sunday night in the Discord for our From Season 2 watch party. We will be watching episode 1 and 2 this Sunday night and be discussing it afterwards as we get closer and closer to that Season 3 release date. But until that time, again, big thank you to each and every one of you. I cannot thank all of you enough for all the support you guys have shown us. We will be live again this Saturday, or again, if I'm able to go live tomorrow night at my normal Wednesday night time, I will. And of course, I will put out a notification in the Discord well ahead of time so everybody knows. So I will try and go live tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, our usual Wednesday night time. But if not, we will definitely be live Saturday, and we will definitely be doing the watch party on Sunday night in the Discord. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe out there in this crazy, crazy world we find ourselves in. Be kind to one another. And as always, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see you on the next one.